This podcast is part of the Deluxe Edition Network. To find other great shows on the network, head over to deluxeeditionnetwork.com. That's deluxeeditionnetwork.com.
Bev's Video Kingdom is intended for a mature audience. Listener discretion is advised.
Bev's Video Kingdom really is brought to you by...
What the fuck?
What's up, dude?
One of my renters broke the toilet again. That dude takes giant shits. Now I know what I'm doing tomorrow.
Why don't you hire a property management company or something to take care of that stuff?
Because they suck, and they take 10%.
You know, our dude Hank owns and manages Heritage Realty Partners. I think he said he only charges 5%, and he visits each property at least once a month.
That's right. He's always posting beers from the road. You have his number?
Actually, I do. His personal number is 805-451-5734.
Perfect. Now he can deal with my renter's big shits.
Heritage Realty Partners.
For all your property management and investment needs.
I can grab your favorite podcast. Let's start this thing. Woo!
Oh boy, folks, this is the BVK podcast, and it is draft day. And you know, I'm going to say it right off the bat because last time we had a draft, I don't think we mentioned the draft title for like 10 plus minutes. Things were a little wild back then. I don't know what was going on that night, but you know, things were happening.
There's a lot of dick talk.
There was.
It got weird.
I don't know if we're going to limit the dick talk tonight, but it might happen. We'll see. I just want to say our draft tonight is the most memorable disposal of a body in movies. And boy, howdy, I think this is going to be controversial because there's a lot of question. We didn't say dead body. Mm-hmm. We didn't say human body.
We didn't.
There's a lot of things we did not say there. And so we're going to have to talk about this. But first, let me say, I am Brad. I am the host today for the Bev's Video Kingdom podcast. I am joined by our loyal member, Scotch. How you doing, Scotch?
I'm doing great, buddy. How are you?
Police knocking on your doors or anything like that?
Well, I mean... I was up to some shenanigans preparing for this draft, and you know, after I whacked our other co-hosts who aren't here tonight, Zach and Nate.
Oh, you remember their names?
I know, because they're just out of sight, out of mind, buddy. But I had to dispose of those bodies, and you know.
So you were just doing. So you were actually like. So yeah. when you like, it's like when you study, you were actually like in there doing some actual technical stuff to study.
Right. I mean, I feel you have to know the subject if you're going to draft properly. So I got into it, and I disposed of some bodies. I have a canal back here, and I made some, cement shoes. And I probably shouldn't say where the location of the bodies are, should I?
No, probably
or
not.
that I've killed people.
No, I wouldn't say. I'm gonna admit to murder a little bit later too. So you know,
allegedly,
we're team.
Right.
That's what BVK does.
So anyway, yeah. So anyway, Zach and Nate aren't here so fuck those guys.
Yeah, but we are joined by two absolute first-time drafters. And I have to really quick. I have to set the record straight. Last draft episode, I said that of our guest draft, because, you know, Walter was on a couple weeks ago and he finished second place, so close to that first place finish, but he did redeem himself because he had drafted twice. I thought that our boy, Matty Marlowe from the Real Drunks, had drafted before, but he has just judged our BVK podcast drafts twice. Matty, how you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm ready to draft. I'm ready to whoop some ass.
I will say this guy has told me on multiple occasions, and he's actually not just me, he's told multiple people. He's like, I feel like I'm going to go on BVK podcast and I'm going to win a draft.
Well, I mean, I'm definitely, borderline intimidated because, he does do a movie podcast, so he should know the categories and he should be good. So we'll see. He couldn't judge for shit, so I don't know why he could draft for shit.
Okay. Calm down. Just because you didn't win. But I will say to prepare for this, I did watch Draft Day multiple times.
Yeah, he walks in trying to trade draft picks. He yelled at me, "I want my draft picks back." I was like, "What is going on?" Like, that's not how we run this thing. But he knows he's prepared.
I just watched that for the
fired up.
first time like about 3 weeks ago.
It's great.
It was actually a really good movie.
It gets
I
you
liked it a
so
lot.
into it, even
yeah.
as absurd as the entire situation is.
Yeah.
It gets you so bought into it. You're
love
like,
it.
you're really concerned. Like, oh, dude, they're getting their
yeah.
draft picks back. Are you kidding me? And they get the first pick, and then, oh my Lord, they're getting everything they want.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, it's a stupid movie. It's Kevin.
It came out like 10, 15 years ago.
Kevin
think we're good.
Costner sports movie. You know it's going to be ridiculous.
All right.
All right. And then our second, and Scotch, this is what we got going. To defend our whole legacy as a BVK podcast, no guest has ever won. And here we are against two guests tonight. There are two guests who have a
50-50
chance to win
Ish.
the BVK draft award, and that's never happened. We've got P-Man, who was joining us last week to talk about Goodfellas.
Yeah.
P-Man, are you ready to draft? You seem very calm and collected.
I'm just going to say history will be made tonight.
When Matt wins.
Well, there's a chance of that. There's a chance of that. And for the listening
man.
public, if you ever have a chance to draft with the BVK crew, you got to do it. They're great hosts, and it's a great time.
Hey, I appreciate
you know what?
that.
Kissing up to us will get you nowhere. The
Yeah,
the judge isn't here.
they're not judging.
Oh, fuck off.
This is like, we've got the judge. There was like the old game shows where they used to talk about, and the judges are secured in a particular location, blah, blah, blah. I mean, our judges, he's right now embracing 99 cats, 97 cats.
97 cats.
97 cats.
What happened
over
to the other two?
My house is full of pussy, dude. He's in there watching porn, stroking pussy, and he's in there having a great old time. He took like 4 beers in there with him. He's gonna be hammered.
Yeah, he's very excited.
Yeah.
And folks, it is the Govs. He is the judge tonight, and there's some shenanigans at play.
He
that
came with a plan.
explained, and we just all of a sudden were like, what the fuck's going on? I have a deck of cards next to me, a pen, and some papers that have been like pre-written out, some things that we have to fill in. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But I think everybody knows what today is, and we're all excited about it. It is... It is motherfucking draft day. All right, folks. Like I said, the draft today is the most memorable disposal of a body. And I'm for sure some of you out there are thinking like, okay, a couple things are popping into your head. This is true. But as we get deeper into the weeds, it's going to be a little wild. I think there's going to be some arguments. I think there's going to be some controversy because when I was looking at my own list, I'm like, my list is whack. It is crazy. There's like things that I'm going to be trying to justify that I don't know if that's going to even fly. We shall see.
And that's kind of, we were talking about it. And it's like we were saying, well, should we make this caveat, this whatever? And I think we kind of all agreed. I say pick it. Let's allow whatever we want and then let the Govs decide, you know?
That's the way it usually works.
Yeah.
You know, you put it to the Gov. And I will say, we do have an older judge. We have some older draftees here.
Watch it.
We've got Matty Marlowe's the young buck here.
Yep. It is a wide range of.
It's interesting.
Which is odd because on my podcast, I'm usually the old guy, which I always get made fun of relentlessly for.
They're like, okay, boomer. Yeah, over here we got like some true like baby boomers here. So it's kind of wild.
Yeah.
Baby boomer. How old do you think I am?
A lot of gray hair at this table.
I grew up at your house, Brad. Come on.
That is true. That is true. But yeah, but you got to understand. Remember, I was the little brother, and you guys were like these giants compared to me. So you always seemed hella old compared to me.
And now you're 3 inches taller than I am.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, times have changed. Adjust a little bit. All right, folks, are we ready for a draft order?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so let me hit this little draft generate. It's going to give me an order. Okay, I've got my order now. So, you know what? I mentioned a little bit earlier, and Scotch and I have been talking a little bit fast and loose about our murdering days because we've been doing some killing lately. You know what? Someone wrote a bad review of BVK.
Fuck those guys.
And I was like, I need to get rid of a body now. And, you know, it's the internet. You write some shit on the internet, you think people aren't going to find out who you are.
Yeah.
Well,
We're going to find you.
People find out. So I need to get rid of a body. So I had to go to some folks' houses to find out, help me out. Let's get rid of this body. So what I did first is I stopped by our friend Maddie's house. I was like, Matt, I really need to get a body. Can you help me out? And he offered me a stack of old penthouses and some Hot Wheels tracks.
Lines up.
Checks out.
And some Hot Wheels tracks. I was like, really, Matt? I don't think that's going to help me too much. But whatever. I went back to my house and I was like, okay, let me look around. So the second place I looked, I went to my house. I found a toilet plunger and some Drano. I'm like, that's going to take a long time. That seems like a long process here. I'm not sure this is going to work out so well for me. So third, I went over to P-Man's house. Like, P-Man, man, we got to get rid of this body. Can you help me out?
I got a backhoe, Brad.
Now we know.
It's hilarious that you say that because at the time, all you offered me was some gasoline and some matches. And I was like,
You caught me on the wrong day.
I was like, I don't know. That seems like smoke going up. It's gonna bring attention to this thing. And finally, the fourth place I went over to Scotch's and he had an axe. And guess what, P-Man? He had a backhoe. He really did have a backhoe.
I do, actually.
And so he had that waiting for me.
Mine is much nicer. I'm just saying.
And so, I've got some good friends. That's all I can say. And to that reviewer, you know what? Maybe you shouldn't leave bad reviews about the BVK podcast.
That's right.
You'd be buried in penthouses.
And Hot Wheels tracks.
Yeah, all those tracks.
Well, if you got to go.
I'm not sure what I was supposed to do there, but, I figured it out.
Well, you remember those old damsel in distress, like laying on the track?
Yes, I don't know if that would have worked. All right. Anyway, so we have a draft order. It's going to go first is Maddie Marlowe. Second, I've got me. Third, P-Man. You're from the third position.
Okay.
It's a rough one.
Okay.
And fourth, we've got Scotchback.
See, last week when you did this, you said it backwards, and so I thought we were going backwards.
I mix it up. You got to mix it up sometimes.
That's fine. That's good. But
Yeah, you're last. Just
I
go with
can't.
it.
No problem.
And so, Brad, are we snaking or are we going? What are
This
we doing?
is
Snake
snake draft.
Okay, got
Absolute
it.
snake draft. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we will do that for 4 rounds. And
So go. Sorry, went Maddie, Brad, P-Man, me.
there you go.
Got it. Perfect. Sorry, I was just because I was going
I
along,
love it. You try. You know what? You zig, I zag. That's the way it goes.
which is fine. So
oh yeah, look at this. It's
Yeah.
actually
Yeah.
no. It goes here.
Oh,
here.
sorry.
We got
I thought
some.
you said he was second. Sorry.
We're crisscrossing.
My
over
bad.
here. Crisscross
We're
applesauce.
crossing streams.
We are crossing the streams for sure.
Wow.
All right,
Okay.
Maddie Marlowe, and okay, I will say, I feel like there's a number one running away, and we shall see what direction Maddie Marlowe goes.
We'll see. We'll see.
There's two that if I had the first pick, I was really having a hard time deciding which one I would go with. And so I'm curious to see which one Maddie goes with.
All right.
Or something
Again,
else.
I'm very stoked. 2 rookie drafters here to show off their skills.
So poor P-Man, like rookie, first time coming on, he got the third spot. Which,
Hey,
that's rough.
Walter had third spot
I've got
last
a banger in the 3 spot, Scott, so I'm not worried.
Walter had the 3 spot, a couple weeks ago, and he dropped it into a second. So,
I thought if I would have got third spot, I would call shenanigans.
all right. Look at this.
All right.
You got no excuses now.
All right.
You're
Are we
lead
ready?
off.
Are we ready?
You're getting the best pick.
Okay. So this pick, now I've only seen this movie a couple times, and it's been years since I've seen it, but this scene always stands out in my mind. Mm-hmm. I'm going to go with the wood chipper scene in Fargo.
Yep.
Got to go with that.
I'm thinking that was the runaway
Yeah.
number one.
Which I find is very odd because you're in Fargo, North Dakota, in the middle of winter with snow, and you're throwing a body through a wood chipper
With red blood going
red
everywhere.
blood everywhere.
It was an interesting choice.
Yeah, it is very
And
interesting.
then the ankle becomes the problem. What is her opening line when she problem with your wood chipper or whatever she says, however she says it with her little Fargo accent?
I don't recall her saying anything like that.
yeah,
has a line.
I remember what it was. What's her name?
Frances McDormand,
Yeah.
because Steve Buscemi's the one going through the chipper.
Right. Well, him and the wife, I think, both of them. I think he was putting both because they
Buscemi's
killed the
the last one. He's
Right.
the one that
Yeah.
kind of jams it up.
yeah. His foot. He's got the log. He's pushing on the foot. And to me, the most memorable part of all of it, other than the blood on the snow, is the fact when he pushes down, the sound changes. Like you hear it, and just like the tone. Like
The Coen brothers are masters
Oh
of
my-
attention to detail.
Oh,
Oh,
the sound
boy.
was the sound design on that is amazingly uncomfortable and perfect. So
Well, Maddie, I'll say so far your draft is starting off wonderfully because
Yeah.
I think that was going to be
Solid.
that was my number one pick.
Yeah.
Can everybody agree? Was that going to be the number one pick?
that's
I
what
think it has to
That's
be.
what I would have
Okay.
grabbed.
All right. Now I got to go. I haven't even opened my list yet. Here we go. So that's definitely not going to be. All right.
You can't pick it again.
Oh man.
I know you want to.
What trade?
So there's some, and it already brings up some very interesting topics, but I think I know where I'm going. Let me just look at the rest of my list to make sure. Man,
Some of us prepared, Brad.
my list is wild, but I'm going to go ahead and jump right into
Go weird.
when you've got to dispose of a body that has made an absolute mess of your car.
Yep.
Oh man, I shot Marvin.
Yeah, that was on my. That was my second.
Oh no! Oh man, I shot Marvin in the face.
Oh man, shot Marvin in the face.
Yep.
And an entire 20-minute scene is based around the cleanup and disposal of Marvin's body. And it's just, there's so many good lines in it.
You got to call in the wolf.
You get the wolf involved.
Yeah.
You've got the whole coffee scene. You've got,
How's that scene go?
That's 20 minutes.
I know. But then you've got them when they're actually in the car talking about being on brain detail and shit. Like there's just,
That's 20 minutes away.
I'm a mushroom
I'll be there in 10.
motherfucker.
I know I got good coffee. You know why I know it's good coffee? 'Cause I buy the shit.
So it's all based around the disposal and eventually actually the disposal is not that big a deal. They take it to the junkyard and it's going to be a car that's crushed up and that's the way it goes.
Yeah, I'm not fighting on that because that was on my list for sure.
I mean, I had those 1A, 1B personally, like as a personal favorite because I just love the movie. That was kind of like what I would have wanted to pick first, but I knew Fargo was the first pick, and that's what I would have picked first. I just had a really hard time, but those two, that's 1 and 2, hands down, yeah. So
No brainers.
no brainers. Now, was that what
right.
you had locked it at 3?
No,
No, absolutely. That
He-Man
was,
said
1 and
he
2.
has-
That was 1 and 2, of
Okay.
course.
But
He-Man says he's got a 3 though, and
But-
I'm excited. This
okay.
is where it gets interesting.
So being the new guy, I hate to do this, but I think all 4 of my picks are going to be controversial. Scotch, Brad, you both know this. Matt is learning this. I push boundaries. That's what I do.
I like it. I like it. I like it a lot.
Habitual line stepper.
So I'm going to go, even though technically for most of the movie they weren't disposing of the body, we'll see what the judges say on this. I'm going to go with the classic Weekend at Bernie's.
I love it. I approve of it because
You're not throwing the challenge flag?
I don't because this
I
is,
might have to though.
This
Because
would have been my
they're not
pick.
disposing of it though.
They are because they're basically hiding the body that is dead.
But it's not disposing of it. They're not getting rid of the body. They're walking around with it like their arm around it and taking it to parties.
they're
I
marionetting
said there
the
was going
fuck
to be
out of them.
controversy.
I think it fits because basically they are hiding the body. They're just hiding it in plain sight.
That's the best argument I've heard yet because he told me about it earlier and I wasn't sure where I was on this. Initially, I didn't even write it down because I didn't think it would count. But that actually makes a lot of sense because they are hiding it in plain sight.
Okay.
Nobody knows it's a dead body. So that's, but
I will. You understand where I'm coming from, though, too, right?
100%.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. I say allowed it and then
know what?
maybe the judge.
Here's the thing.
Allow
he was
it.
dead.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was dead.
And they're like, how are we going to get rid of this body?
And then take advantage of the situation and party.
Well, fuck it. We're going to act like he's still alive.
All right.
Right.
I remove the challenge flag from the table.
Okay.
We'll let the judge decide.
And let's just say Terry Kaiser as Bernie.
So great.
Has there ever been
Physical.
a better corpse acting job in a movie ever?
Well,
Yes.
but
maybe Swiss Army
If-
Man.
we can have
Maybe
Bernie's
Swiss
too.
Army Man.
We can Bernie's too.
Swiss Army
Well,
Man.
okay.
Swiss Army Man with Harry Potter
Yeah.
is up there, and those are the guys that went on to make everything everywhere all at once.
That's kind of a 2-man. Other than those 2, who's left in the pool there for the best?
That's true.
We can have Bernie's too. He's dancing, though.
I think he
I
dances.
feel like
in
he dances
too.
in one. I feel like he dances
I think they
in
kind of
one.
just. It was
But
like
not
basically
from
like
voodoo.
rehash
Not a voodoo
the hits.
dance.
Well, you got me there.
All right.
Okay.
So Weekend at Bernie's. So far I put Fargo, Wood Chipper Scene. I put Pulp Fiction, Marvin Cleanup. Weekend at Bernie's. I'm just like the whole movie.
Right?
I mean, yeah.
I think you just put Bernie. Everyone
Yeah.
knows.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just gonna put Bernie.
Bernie.
All right, now I feel this is
Wrap.
where this draft starts getting interesting because
Okay.
I felt like those were the 3 that I was
So you were thinking
Excited about.
You were thinking Bernie's as well.
Oh yeah, that was good. That was gonna be one of my top picks.
Interesting. Okay. Wow.
If I was 3 or 4, I was going with Bernie.
Okay. Well. Okay. So we discussed Goodfellas last week, and we also discussed another film, and of Scorsese's that some of us think it's equally as good, maybe better.
Fucker.
And I'm taking out in the cornfields, Joe Pesci getting the baseball bat upside the head as he's doing his voiceover, and just them literally burying him while he's still breathing. It's just one of the most shocking, memorable, just brutal scenes I've ever watched.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Oh man, I was hoping that was going to be coming back to me.
No way that was going to.
That was I knew that was obviously my top 3.
Right.
That was
And again, this brings up the whole point of, does the body have to be dead to be disposed of? And I think this one's memorable enough that the expectation is that they're dead. I feel like if the people leave the scene with the expectation that that person is dead, I think it kind of counts. And this is a perfect scene.
And if they actually die, I mean, maybe if there's something else where maybe they don't die or something, maybe it doesn't count. Who knows? Because we
can argue about that a little bit later.
If somebody picks something where maybe they don't die, then maybe that doesn't count. I don't know. I don't have anything on my list.
We shall see.
Maybe.
Okay. But the fact that when Joe Pesci, just the most pathetic, he's like, he's still breathing. Leave him alone. Leave him alone. It's just like,
oh, it's so brutal.
So bad. And they strip them in their underwear.
Yeah.
And just like,
in the field.
That's the way I want to go.
Just beat with
it was revenge. Like, as we talked about last week, it was revenge for Goodfellas, because poofy haired dude got frozen in Goodfellas, and in this scene he gets to get the final whack on Joe Pesci. So
okay,
I'm Marvin. No, not Marvin. From Home Alone. What was his name? Home Alone.
Oh, it's Harry.
Harry.
Yeah.
Marv is the other guy. Yeah.
Okay, so for the Raparito, this is where it could go a bunch of different directions. I'm going to go with a movie that we've done on the pod.
Ooh.
It's one of my all-time favorite movies, and I think it's a great disposal scene.
It's on my list.
And John Cusack, after he has...
That was on my list. Son of a bitch.
Oh,
he has the fight in the hallway.
But that was further down my list, so
okay.
I'm not even mad.
That's okay.
I'm not even mad.
So
I'm going to say that was not on my list.
Gross Point
I am
Blank.
mad.
Damn it. That is a good one.
That was the podcast I was on.
That's right.
Yes.
So,
Hitman Pod.
Getting rid of La Puelle.
Yep. So putting him him at Piven, sticking him in the school furnace. So
He burns his hand.
When we spoke earlier about Pesci plays Pesci in every movie, does Piven play Piven in every role too?
Piven's Piven.
Piven's Piven, right?
Piven.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's not a movie where he doesn't have at least a little bit of that kind of asshole, cocky personality. Like, I've never seen him without that.
Right.
I am upset that you got that one, Scott. I wanted Martin Blank.
And you're
putting
next.
him in the incinerator.
Did you have him queued up for your next pick? Probably.
Do you see it here? That crossed out number 3? You see that? Do you see that?
Now, so when P-Man got here a little earlier, before everybody, we had a little discussion. He's like, would you rather finish second and not screw anybody over, or finish fourth and screw everybody over? And I think I'm going to go with the latter.
You're well on your way.
And so me knowing that I screwed you over on that makes me very happy.
Yeah, you're like, you can finish fourth down. You're like, hey,
I'm good. Yeah.
You know what? I fucked a couple people.
Right. All right, P-Man, you're up.
Well, sticking with Goodfellas, I guess I got to go with Billy Batts. I mean,
Going to
I
t-shirt.
didn't think it was going to be here for the wraparound, but it's still here.
Yeah.
And so, it's a great scene when they open the trunk and he's still kind of pleading, blah, 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 and Pesci takes out that machete and just starts stabbing him.
No, it was a kitchen knife.
it's a kitchen knife. You're right.
He
It's a
borrowed
kitchen
from
knife.
It's mom's
Yeah,
kitchen
because
knife.
later in the movie, he's taking. You're right. You're right.
Yeah.
What does he tell his mom he
He
needs it
just,
for?
because they hit a deer and the hoof
Yeah,
got,
he
the hoof
hit a
got
deer.
stuck in the grill. They got to set it off.
He's like, it's paw. What is it? What is it? And then he's like, hoof. He's like,
Hoof or
yeah.
a foot. Yeah.
And then after Pesci stabs him repeatedly, Jimmy Conway has to shoot him, empty his revolver into him too. So I think he's pretty much dead.
Why not in the middle of nowhere just, fire off a couple rounds so it brings a little bit of attention to you?
Right.
I mean, why not?
Well, and I had a little small issue with that classic scene,
Right.
and of
Right.
course their reburial when they had to dig him back up.
Yeah.
which is
boy.
That's a
equally
2 for
as
1.
bad.
That's a 2
Yeah,
for
2
1.
for 1. But the camera angle was not great. Sorry, Marty, but when he shoots him, it looks like he just shoots him in the junk, which
Yeah.
is pretty fucked up. Well, I mean,
Maybe he was.
Well,
yeah, maybe that's the thing.
and on the reburial, that red tail light glow,
Oh yeah,
that's a good shot.
Yeah.
That's a good
hell
shot.
of
Oh,
a
yeah.
shot.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, damn it.
So I'm
okay.
going Billy Bats.
Yeah.
Goodfellas.
Oh boy. Okay.
Okay, that
That's
was,
some
that
good
was another
ones.
on my list. That was my next pick, but
Yeah.
it's all right. I still think I'm in a good position here.
So it's interesting. I have a couple movies we've done before.
And that's a great example of me. Like that was queued up, but I go, you know what? I think I want to take this other one because I think it's going to screw somebody over.
Because you wanted to screw me.
Right.
All right. You know what? Sometimes a body disposal isn't even a body disposal. It's just sometimes you're just like, I don't know where to put this person, so why not just leave them in my house?
Okay.
I'm gonna go with the Hitchcock classic,
Oh.
Psycho. Norman Bates just keeps his mom.
Okay.
Why not? Just keep her in the house
That's not the one I had.
and let her just rot, and then you dress up in her clothes and do some murdering, and nobody will suspect. But actually,
So you're specifically going with Mrs. Bates.
Yeah.
I'm going with
Okay.
the disposal of Mrs.
That's an
Bates.
important point.
Yes, I agree.
Oh, you guys think that? Okay,
Yeah.
interesting. I just think it's funny that when you're thinking of disposal, why not just keep them in your house? It's pretty simple.
Is it really disposed? We'll see what the judge thinks.
Yeah.
So that's the only. I'm just saying. I'm not saying it's a bad pick.
I've already thrown my
But you never know
tail
with
flag out.
judges, and we got the governor, and he's definitely thinking on another plane. So he might.
That's an understatement. after
Yeah. You'll hear.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I put Psycho, Norman Bates' mom.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, Maddie.
You're on the Reach-A-Rito, Rap-A-Rito.
So since my other picks were my second, third picks were already chosen,
Taken away? Okay.
taken away from me, which is fine. It's no big deal. I'm gonna go with one that you guys probably didn't even think about, but I'm gonna go with 300. This is Sparta, where he straight up Charlie Murphy kicks the dude into the pit.
Yeah. The Persian diplomat guy
Yes.
who comes to negotiate.
Yes.
Right. And this. Okay. So this was where we were talking about a little bit, and again, I'm not sure where I stand on this because is that a disposal or is it a straight up murder? But it's both. So
Yeah, he
both.
throws him in a pit.
I know
He's not going to be like picked up.
That's the
Right,
place they put
right.
the dead bodies.
So I'm just saying, when we were discussing this, these are the type of things that are going through my head. I was like, well, shit, is this a gray area? Is it not?
I know.
So I don't know. I'm not saying it doesn't count. I'm just saying that
Let's leave it to the judge.
Let's leave it to the judge.
I think we leave it to the judge at this
me
point.
personally, like if I was judging, I wouldn't disallow it, but I might say maybe take a couple points off. But maybe Gov's all into it. I don't know. This is where it just got weird because we brought this up.
Oh,
Like,
this draft. I think
Yeah.
this draft
I-
is open to a lot
Yeah.
of this type of stuff.
Honestly, there's other ones I could have picked where there's no controversy, but I feel like
Oh, just wait. I'm bringing some
controversy. I had to throw more
Mix it up,
controversy in.
Matt. Mix it up.
I had to do that. I'm so confident with my first pick that I could throw like a in there too.
And honestly, I think the Gov kind of has a Spartan mindset attitude. So you might be,
Very possible.
you might be working your way into it.
All right, Maddie, you got another pick
Oh,
here.
that's right. That's right.
Oh, you know how? Do you know how these fucking drafts
I do.
work?
I do.
first pick was so good, I don't need to do a third pick.
All right,
don't.
we'll skip it. You can have three picks. Three picks. That's fine.
Okay. Let me see. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna throw another sleeper out there.
All right.
I like it.
This goes from a classic, and I think you're gonna like this one, Brad.
I hope so.
Okay. From
See, I gotta get it.
movie of our childhood. It's a judge who turns out to be the bad guy in this.
I can't believe you're doing it. I was gonna do this.
Judge Doom, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, dipping the cartoon shoe in the dip.
That is so wonderful because that was gonna probably be my next pick. Because I was just saying, you want to get controversial? I'll get controversial. We're talking a cartoon shoe that he straight up murders right in front of everybody.
Yeah.
Yet he does dispose of the body because that thing melts.
Yeah.
Into the dip.
And
I
if-
love when you guys
And if
throw
anything
drafts.
else,
love it.
I screwed Brad over. I took his. I took
Well, there you
And if anything, you probably put the scent on me. I think if Gov has any like internal bias, he's like, fucking Brad.
Fucking Brad,
Who
yeah.
Framed Robert? He talks about that movie all the time.
At any time you can pick Chris Lloyd, you got to, right?
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
for sure.
This shit just.
I'm not even worried about winning right now. I'm picking for me now.
I see that.
I just can't believe his name was Judge Doom and nobody could figure out that he's a bad guy.
Right?
I've never seen the movie.
What the fuck?
Is this for reals? I mean, last week, I didn't think you could top yourself, but really, you've never seen Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
Never saw it.
Are you kidding?
I don't like animation shit.
Oh, but the thing is what's so
I know it's like people and animation, but
what is so messed up about that scene though too, I want to point out is that shoe is just so lovable, and he's like, nuzzling up to him.
Imagine the most peaceful little cartoon you can think of in this little shoe. These shoes get broken out of this little case, and so they're trying to collect them all. Well, Judge Doom grabs one, and it's just sitting there. And it's like
it's nuzzling him, trying to like.
It's like trying to like.
Brad, it's pointless. Scott is dead inside.
I know.
Look, I'm not saying I didn't.
He opens this fucking can of turpentine and just dips that thing down, and it's looking at the turpentine, looking back at him as he's starting to drop it in there. It was so traumatic for my fucking childhood. You don't understand how much that movie fucked me up. I was like, I had empathy as a kid. I was like, wait, this thing does not want to die, and he's sitting there just murdering it in slow motion.
Sounds awesome.
Oh, that's brutal.
He's dead inside.
Oh, Scotch back.
The sincerity is dripping in this.
I'm not saying I didn't jerk off to Jessica Rabbit. I did. I'm
was
just saying
way
I
too
never
young
saw
for
the full
that.
film.
I'm just glad you said Jessica Rabbit and not Roger. That's all.
All right, here we go. It's back to me.
Yep.
I got a little shit for my last pick. I thought the Norman Bates reveal of the mom is pretty memorable.
It's a sneaky, and if it hits, it's going to hit hard. I like that pick a lot.
I've got so many I should just take just to be stupid, but I'm going one that I think is pretty legit. If people have seen this movie, they're going to remember it. I'm gonna go with Sin City.
Good call, man. It's on my list.
I'm going with Kevin getting tied to the tree with his hungry dogs.
Oh, I wasn't thinking about that one.
Well,
okay.
there's something
That's
else.
a cold-blooded scene, Brad.
It is. Marv is pissed off, and when he finally captures Kevin,
Frodo gets eaten by the dogs.
and Elijah Wood's sitting there smiling as those dogs are like sniffing, and like they can see that he's like open meal, and he just walks away like a badass.
Yeah.
Brad, I didn't know you were such a dark motherfucker. I'll be honest.
that scene. I remember
I'm
that
seeing
scene.
a new side of Brad.
I like it. Okay.
If the governor is familiar with that movie and that scene, that's fantastic.
Because what always stands out is Elijah Wood's performance in that scene. Because like, he's not like freaked out or scared because he's such a psychotic motherfucker. He's just sitting there like almost like smiling about it. Like,
well, talk about a hell of a paycheck because he doesn't say a word the entire film, and he just looks crazy.
Yeah.
And throws the sledgehammer around, and he's just murdering chicks, and
it's a creepy scene, and
scene.
you are very excited. You're like, yes, this
it's
guy
satisfying.
Deserves all of this.
Yeah.
So there you go, Sin City.
Frodo.
Yep. I know. I should just put Frodo.
That's
tied
what I
to a
wrote
tree.
down. Interesting. Okay. P-Man, what you got over there?
I got another controversial take.
I love it. I said this is going to be one of the more controversial drafts that we ever have, and it's living up to its stature.
The thing is, though, now I'm sitting here going like, shit, am I not being controversial enough? Because I got a bunch of picks here that are like good, legit picks, and I'm like,
I feel like you should throw some out there. We all are. You might as well.
You guys are actually fucking with me harder than anything right now because I'm like,
Matt did part of my job. He brought Who Framed Roger Rabbit into it, which I was very excited about. I was very excited.
All right, what do you got, P-Man?
Well, so getting rid of a body. This is like kind of a two-step getting rid of the body. Okay. But
like a Dave Matthews two-step?
Oh, wow. You went to college in the late 90s, didn't you?
I may have. I may have seen Dave Matthews at Dodger Stadium.
Wow. Let's all tip our hats, bow our heads as Theodore Donnie Karabatsis remains in compliance with what very well may have been his dying wishes, is being committed to the bosom of the Pacific Ocean. As Walter Sobchak dumps him out into the ocean.
How did I not think of this?
Which actually backfires into...
I didn't think about that either.
Not on my list, and I wholeheartedly approve because if I thought of it, I would have defended the fuck out of it.
Because this is one of those things where you're thinking more like murder, like
100%.
This is outside the box, but it's terrifically outside the box.
That's not even controversial at all.
Fucking
That's
Lebowski.
controversial because we didn't think of it.
And I mean, Yeah, and just the fact that his ashes end up all over the dude's face.
It's a great scene.
I mean, that's what makes it memorable. That's what makes it so good.
It just
I'm putting
just the way
Donnie's
he-
ashes are dispersed on the dude.
Right.
Fitting. Fitting.
Just the look on his face, he's just so stoic until he finally just blows
And
up.
it's the final straw. It's
Yeah.
where he finally just is like, you are absolute piece of shit.
Oh my god.
That's a good one. I commend you.
Do we
for
all
that
feel
one.
that they make up, right? They do make up.
Yeah.
Well, they end up
they end up
bowling in
bowling
the
again.
finals.
Yeah.
At the last scene is
Yeah.
when they're bowling at the
Oh,
finals.
yeah, that's right. 'Cause
Right?
that's when
So-
he talks. That's when he talks to the
wasn't on-
stranger.
That's
Yeah,
when he talks to the stranger. Exactly.
Yep.
It wasn't on Shabbos.
It wasn't on Shabbos.
Okay.
I don't throw on Shabbos.
I don't roll on Shabbos.
Scotchback.
Okay.
You've got a wrap. You got your final 2 picks. This is your draft. Is in your hands
Right.
for this is for the defending the honor of BVK.
Okay.
You and I are trying to do something special here to make sure that we can defend against 2 guest judges.
Don't screw the pooch.
I know.
I like some of these lists. This is an interesting list. I can't wait to
Right.
see how the judge handles this.
So this movie I'm going to go with is classic franchise, and
Twilight.
probably not expecting. No.
If this is what I think,
My
it
second
is,
favorite franchise. Classic franchise, and a very
Fast and Furious.
shocking moment in the film. The hero
When what's his name died in a Porsche.
meets a girl. They have amazing sex. She's got awesome boobies in the movie,
Sweet boo.
and the bad guys end up catching her, and they put him in a straitjacket, throw him in the water, and when he looks up, in the water already is his girlfriend. I'm going Martin Riggs in Lethal Weapon 2. His girlfriend, the South African girl, is dead in the water already.
I feel like there could have been a better one from
Yeah.
that franchise.
From that franchise?
From that franchise.
Well, then draft it.
Oh, damn.
Riggs' girlfriend in Lethal Weapon 2
And it was in Lake.
is in the ocean.
Ocean. It was off the pier.
Yep. It just sucked because he finally got a girl, and then they just
She was a-
instantly killed her. She was a hottie.
hottie. Yeah, she was a baddie,
Yeah.
as the kids say.
Wait, is Lethal Weapon 2 also where he's like got the beach house and they shoot up his beach house
That's
too?
the same. Yeah.
His little apartment.
He's got
his little
a trailer.
He's got the trailer, yeah.
So they were boning in the trailer, and then they end up like escaping through a little dog hatch, I think, down below.
And then later she gets aced. See,
Yeah.
I haven't watched those movies in a
Yeah.
long time.
Yeah, 'cause they also made fun of it in that movie, National Lampoon's Loaded Weapon 1, where they blow up the house on the beach, and it was
It was a
it was-
celebrity's house.
It was Bruce Willis. He goes, "Is this 574 Ocean Drive?" No, this is Ocean Lane. Ocean Drive's over there.
and they fill it with so many bullet holes, like just the whole front falls
Yeah,
off.
they're like, "Sorry." He goes, "No problem."
That is a great cameo, and that movie is a weird, ridiculous movie.
but so funny.
It is silly.
Okay. So you guys went a little weird on yours. I'll go a little weird on my 4th pick. It's the last pick that I get. So
Yeah.
I'm also going to dispose of a body in plain sight. And I'm going to dispose of Aunt Edna on the front porch in the movie Vacation,
Vacation.
That's a good
National
one.
Lampoon's
That's a good
Vacation.
when Clark Griswold dumps Aunt Edna on the porch of their cousins or whoever.
I think it's her.
Her family or something.
Yeah, it's like her brother
Arizona or
her-
something.
Yeah, whatever.
So,
And Edna, and it's raining.
and it's raining.
Yeah,
Edna on the porch.
I mean, you could have.
Just trying to get to Wally World. Sometimes you dispose of a body in an interesting way. There you go.
The dog would have been a good one too.
Well, yeah.
Wait,
Well, he was alive. That was a murder.
he probably kept up for a few miles.
Poor little guy.
Oh boy. All right. Well, we're back to P-Man, and he's got his final pick of this draft.
I'm going to throw a wild card out there.
Another one.
And I'm just going to say,
You don't have to say that anymore. We
That-
understand that that's where it's coming
if,
from.
if the Gov has not seen this movie, my chances of scoring
boy.
with this are slim.
Okay.
If he has, I guarantee he'll rate it highly, though. So not only is this a classic getting rid of the body scene, it's influenced one other scene that we have on the list right now.
Oh, boy.
And a couple other classic scenes. So I'm going to go with, you know him as the Long Lena, Victor the Cleaner. He's the illest from here to Gardena. I didn't have quite enough moisture on my lips when I did that
Illest
whistle. I
motherfucker
apologize.
from here to Gardena.
So I'm going with La Femme Nikita, Victor the Cleaner, the acid scene. It's the original acid scene. So if you've seen Breaking Bad and they use the acid, okay, that came from La Femme Nikita.
Now we're talking about the French version or the Bridget Fonda?
No, we're talking about Luc Besson's version. Yes,
the original.
of course,
Okay, yeah,
of
gotcha.
course. And I think that Winston the Wolf is basically based on Victor the Cleaner.
Which a very good chance that Tarantino probably love that movie.
I think so.
Right.
I think so. And of course, the line in "What you want,"
What you want?
which you might, listening public, you might say it's Vincent the Cleaner. That's the album version. He meant to say Victor the Cleaner. Okay. Doing a little house cleaning.
Wow, dude.
So I'm going with Victor the Cleaner for my last pick.
Victor the Cleaner.
That is a risky one because it just all depends on.
I like
whether,
it. And if he's able to YouTube it, if he has to YouTube
Right.
it, hopefully it's an interesting scene.
hopefully it's something he can find on YouTube.
There you
which
go.
is sometimes a challenge. So, yeah, I dig it.
Hey,
Because-
P-Man,
because first of all,
P-Man, I appreciate the balls. You've just every time you're like, I'm going a little bit off the grid, and it's been fun.
when we thought about this whole category, the first thing I thought of at all was Breaking Bad, the bathtub scene.
Of course.
And I'm like, shit, if that wasn't TV, that would be this.
This is how you get that in.
Right.
Exactly right.
So great. That's smart. I had no idea.
But of course, if no one's seen it, it doesn't count.
right. Well, it counts. It just doesn't score very well.
All right, I've got 3 I'm trying to decide between, and one is like serious. The second one is, I suppose that the Govs has seen this, but I'm gonna just go for fun. Everybody's got to have their fun pick, and it's another disposal in plain sight. But the key word here is sight. I'm going with
The dramatic pause.
Petey the Bird in Dumb and Dumber.
Pretty bird.
Pretty bird.
Pretty bird.
Harry, I took care of it.
Pete have a head.
I'm going with the disposal of the headless bird Petey to Billy the Blind Kid
And Dumb and Dumber.
in Dumb and Dumber.
But
Okay, what's the argument here? This is a body disposal.
is it?
Or is it a body
So that's just
giveaway?
the question.
I
Just
mean,
flat out, is it?
I mean, the kid still thinks it's alive.
But he took care of it. Did he take care of the body of this
No,
bird?
you're right. It counts. It counts. I just, yeah.
And he doesn't really try to, like, he just is talking about the things that he sold and,
all right.
Petey, and he's like, you sold
I love it.
Petey?
I love it.
Harry, I took care of it.
You're right. I
That
love to
dispose
see
of a
it.
body.
All right.
So, Petey the Bird. That is my pick.
Okay.
Matt, you are on the final pick here, and I maybe my other 2 picks win me the draft. I don't care. I wanted Petey the Bird. I wanted to have some fun with
This
this.
is a crazy ass draft.
It's fucking
It
weird,
is
dude.
ridiculous.
This is fucking nuts. There's one I really want to pick.
Do
but,
it.
No, but I'm running the risk that if he's never seen it,
Well, he just picked La
Hey,
Femme Nikita.
I just
Yeah.
picked the
I
French
was
version.
just
Picked a
saying,
French
come on.
movie. Come on.
if he's never seen this
But he's
movie,
Matt. Remember, Matt. He's been telling people I'm winning
Yeah.
this shit. So
He-
he's got pressure on him.
because I've even tried to find this scene on YouTube,
Uh-huh.
and you cannot find it.
okay.
It's very.
Well, maybe he's seen it. This could be his favorite movie.
I
You never
doubt
know.
it. I
Nate,
doubt it.
the Gov is cultured, okay?
Yeah.
But I will say because he was probably a teenager when this movie came out because it was the early '90s. So fuck it, I'm gonna go with it. I'm gonna go with fried green tomatoes,
Oh, my wife told me to pick this.
the barbecue scene
chili.
where she kills her best friend's husband, barbecues him, and feeds him to the lawman. But
Wow.
it's very. Did she? Is it really him or is it not? But I looked it up.
It's in the chili, correct?
Yeah, it's in the. Yeah, is it chili, right? Yeah.
I think they put him in the chili.
But the secret's in the sauce, is what she says, or something
Yeah.
like that. Yeah. And you don't know in the movie for sure if she did it, but it's been confirmed in the book that it was that she did feed it to the guy, to the cop.
And probably the basis for Goodbye Earl from the Dixie
Yeah,
Chicks.
Right.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go with fried green tomatoes, barbecue scene.
I think I will say when I gave the topic, my wife said fried green tomatoes. That was like her main number one that she wanted to choose.
Okay.
Isn't there a South Park episode that kind of rips on that?
Scott Tenorman.
Yeah, Tinderman, yeah.
Yes, he gets fed his parents in a chili.
That's right. Just so he can go see, and then he has Radiohead show up to witness it.
Oh, and
While he's crying, right?
Because the Radiohead is Scott Tenorman's favorite band.
Well, of
and
course it is.
When they show up and they're like, "Oh, that kid's a crybaby. We don't want to hang out with the crybaby," because he's crying
That's a
about
double burn.
the fact that he's
That's a
eating
double
his
burn.
parents. It's the most cruel thing, and that's at the end when they just all look at Cartman like, "We should never mess with him again."
And then he literally jumps up and starts licking his tears from his face, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's
Yeah.
like, he's licking his tears, and they taste so great.
This
Is
a
it chili?
fucking-
Is it fried green tomatoes? Is it chili?
No, I think it's barbecue.
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 This draft ended up being just the wildest thing. I love it. I was,
Yeah, Scotch, can I run another one by you that I think is my most controversial pick?
Also ran.
Oh no,
we're
we'll
gonna
get to
do also rans next.
We
So,
shall.
yeah,
Of course.
we'll go into it later.
I'm gonna
And
put barbecue scene for.
I'm just saying that I am
fried green
glad
tomatoes.
I am not judging this because there's a lot of stuff on here that I would have to be looking up, and it would be tough.
He's got some time.
Because apparently you haven't seen shit for movies.
I've seen a lot.
Oh no, I can't wait for Also Rans. There's some
So-
silly
Oh, I
ones
got
to talk
some.
about. It's gonna be great.
Now we have something that the Gov gave us that we have to talk about.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, we do got to talk about this. So I am in possession right now of 4 cards, and I got to give them based on picks. So let's see. Team 1, that goes to my boy Maddie over here. Team 4, that was Scotch. Team 2, that is me, and Team 3 is our boy P-Man. All right, so what we have to do is we have to choose one of our picks to get some type of special award. And I'm not exactly sure what this is going to be, but I have a deck of cards in front of me. So on our cards, so for example, mine says Team 2, pick number, and then it's blank, card blank. So I have to choose one of my picks. And then I'm going to pick out of a 52 card deck. I'm going to choose a card, and somehow that card's either going to positively or negatively affect my pick, and we don't know anything. This is what the Govs is stepping up. And
This was late on us. Literally, he walks in. We stopped everything.
no, he texted me.
He texted you first. Yeah,
Yes.
that's right.
And that set the stage that he's going to walk in and bring something to our attention that we had no clue about.
Now, he did say that there's no way that a card would be neutral. It's either going to be a positive or a negative
effect.
But we have no idea what it is. It's going to be completely random.
Yeah, and we don't know how that it's interesting.
And we have to apply it. So, like, what's your strategy? Do you do this on a good pick of yours and hope it gets better?
I know.
Or do you put it on a bad pick and maybe it gets worse?
Are we talking multipliers where it's like, oh, your best pick gets multiplier?
Right.
So are we going to say what were our picks?
We will
and
say our
card-
cards.
say it?
I don't think we're going to say our pick. Are we going to say our picks?
Let's keep
I
the
think
pick secret.
I think we leave
Okay.
the pick secret, but
Pick-
we will
okay.
announce what cards we get.
Okay.
But we leave the pick secret. So I'm looking at my picks right now. And Hank, I know Hank right now is listening to this, probably in his car, and he's like, motherfucking governor. Hank right now is formulating some type of response.
Because the
as a
King of the
judge.
Hoisters right now, and I guarantee you're gonna get a Instagram message from him tomorrow when he
Yes.
listens, or not tomorrow, but after
he's listening to
when
this.
he's listening to this, you're gonna get one because I get one all the time.
Oh yeah, no, he's definitely gonna have a response, and you know, Hank, we can't wait to have you on the pod sometime soon.
Yep. It's going to
And
happen soon.
Thank you so much for the beers you put on the board at last call for me.
Oh yeah,
And you know what, your 2-part episode with the with Hoisting Heavies was great.
oh it was amazing.
Yeah.
It was awesome. All right, so I'm gonna pick mine real quick. I'm looking at my team. I think I know what I'm putting. I know what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing right there.
Okay.
Okay, now we're all going to take from our deck of cards. I've got the jokers are on the bottom. Ooh, I forgot. Govs he's a poker player, so this is a nice deck of cards. This is casino quality, legit. You're playing a nice game of poker with these cards. You want me to? What the fuck? That's another joker. Holy shit! How many jokers are in here?
Usually.
All right, now I'm worried that this is like a trick deck or something. All right,
So
I'm gonna fan it out here. Scotch, take a card.
we're going to go backwards in order.
Yep, we're gonna go 4, 3, 2, 1.
All right.
All right. Go ahead and announce it right now.
I got the 8 of clubs. 8 of clubs.
All right, 8 of clubs is up. and he said we can't have the same card, so it's not going back into the deck. P-Man.
I'm going to say the shuffle was not very thick on this 8 of spades.
8 of spades. Now, if I pull the 8 of hearts somehow,
Do we all get 8s?
that would be
That'd be crazy.
very weird.
It'd be crazy.
Nope, I got the 4 of clubs. All right, I'm fanning out over here to Maddie.
You know what? I'm this confident. Pick it for me, Brad.
No, I've got my hands over here. I'm on the mic.
Grab it.
Oh, really? I got the 6 of hearts.
6 of hearts. So we're all writing this on our little cards. So he's gonna know. I guess we're supposed to deliver this to him.
I'll take them over to him.
Yep, that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna take a little break, folks. You know, we're gonna come back with our judge, and we don't know what the fuck's gonna happen. This is kind of
A little wrinkle.
Little wrinkle, and if it fucks up my winning draft, you know, we might never invite Govs back.
Or they may never find his body.
There's been a lot of body disposal lately, so Scotch and I might have to, do some work. If one of you wins,
All I know is this puts the biggest asterisk ever on this entire draft. So if one of them wins, it doesn't matter anyway.
oh yeah.
I guess I'll just have to come back and draft again and kick your ass again.
All right, folks, we'll be right back. We'll see you in a little bit.
When the criminal justice system fails, it fails hard. Innocent lives are ruined, guilty perpetrators go free, and communities suffer. But what if we told you that the flaws in the criminal justice system run deeper than you think? Join us on the Broken System podcast as we explore the cracks in the criminal justice system. From racial biases to wrongful convictions, we'll investigate the issues that are driving our justice system to the brink of collapse. We'll bring you the stories of those who have suffered under the broken system and the experts who are fighting to make things right. Together, we'll ask the tough questions and demand real change. Are you ready to take a closer look at the flaws in the criminal justice system? Tune in to the Broken System podcast, available now on all major platforms.
Bathymetrics, YouTube assist. Gonna point out all the shit that we missed. It's the draft judge, crushing dreams once again.
We haven't even said it yet, so I guess you would say R.I.P. Zach. Yeah, this is all we have to hold on to him. I mean, this and the theme song.
Yeah, I mean, good riddance though. Fucker doesn't show up, so he gets whacked.
Yeah, that's what happens. All right.
Wait, Zach's dead?
I whacked him.
Not just Zach.
And Nate. I disposed their bodies too.
I'm seriously upset that you didn't call me to help bury the bodies.
Well, I'm just saying he kind of did some unfair research by disposing of bodies in order to do better for the draft. So we'll see if
that
this
remains to be
actually
seen.
we will. It wasn't worth it. We will find out.
Right.
That's what we're going to find out. So, Govs, you are returning here. You're starting to become.
He's slowly filling that void.
He's starting to show up, just like that. He's a legend of drafting. We've had some great. Of draft judging. We've had some great draft judges in the past. We've had Scotchback. We've had Hank, the king of the hoisters. But Govs is just like, you know what? I know how to do this shit.
Fuck you, man.
We've had Matt Marlowe, who was like 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I'm done. And we've had some folks really put in some efforts to this, so we're really appreciative. Matt, I love you.
Fuck you. Put effort into it. You can't call me the day before and say, hey, want to judge this?
Hey, do you know how close we are to a canal and orchards? Come on. You want to ride home, you better just relax. All right, so Govs, what did you think? When I sent this list to you, I was like, this is a wild list. This is a wild category. What were your feelings when you saw that picture show up on your mobile phone?
I'm going to go before that because when I read what the category was, it's like, oh, that's interesting. It's a little different than usual, And I thought, maybe I want to go back to making my own list first and then kind of judging your guys based off what I've come up with. And I was like, no fucking way. There's no way. I was like, God, I had so much trouble coming up with stuff off the top of my head. Talked about it with my wife, and I was like, man, she came up with a couple, and I was like, oh, I didn't even think of that. I don't think the guys will think of that. And I'm so glad. I came up with some also-rans, and I don't know how I feel about them necessarily, and some I deleted because you guys came up with them. They're pretty obvious, but I normally think drafting, well, depending on who you ask. Like Nate, I don't know. It's not much work because, I'm going to Google them while I'm sitting at the table, but to me,
rest in peace, Nate.
I put a lot of thought into when I had to draft, and it seemed like a lot of work. And draft judging is arguably more work, but easy because there's no pressure and you're right.
Right.
You're the final say. So,
we talked about that while we were drafting. We're like, you know what? Let's leave that up to the judge and let the judge decide what their feelings are about some of these picks.
Yeah, it
love what you guys came up with.
It was interesting this time because there have been drafts in the past where we said, no, that doesn't count. Or, and we've definitely said, no, bullshit on that. And we definitely went, you know what? Fuck it. Let's just let him decide.
I had questions about rules, and I texted Brad, and he's like, well, we'll let you know as we go if we come up with anything. And I was like,
we decided on no extra rules. So I was like, I don't got to text you.
I kind of like it, actually.
Yeah. And so I figured, hey, you know what? Maybe he'll maybe disqualify like your brother did to me on a pick that I did recently.
Oh yeah.
Or maybe you'll just take points off or whatever. So
I thought that might be an issue, and it didn't really come up. So it was pretty smooth.
Okay.
Yeah.
So did you what were your criteria this time?
So I do the traditional rank yours 1 through 16, give reverse points, 16 points to first. So on. I come up with some categories that can affect things, and we came up with a special. I'll get to that in a second, but we came up with a special category.
We explained it.
We already explained that there was cards involved. There was also papers involved that we had to put some numbers on. We actually told the audience what our cards were.
Oh, good.
But we didn't say what our picks were.
But we didn't say which picks we chose.
And I didn't know if that was going to be a big deal. Like. I was trying to think, is this going to be a strategy? Because I didn't weight that. If you pick one, I'm going to weigh it heavily. And I'll let you guys know that. Unless it's bragging rights. Like someone says, you know what? I feel like my first pick was super strong. Maybe it was a late pick, but first round. And I want it to be the number one pick by chance. So
we thought it might be is it a multiplier? Is it if I take my best pick, am I going to get super bonus points?
No, not weighted in that way. Okay. And I wanted there to be a little mystery. I thought about doing it myself, but I wanted, if you're burying bodies, there's some stress involved. There's some I don't know. We don't know what's going to happen there. So
you might have to dig them back up 7 months, 8 months later.
Right.
I had no stress.
Or some mystery, what if, so yeah, it's very serious stuff, So
okay. So you said you had some other multipliers there too, or?
Okay, so I had 3 categories, and I debated drawing the cards myself, but I thought it might be a little more fun to make you do it. That way, I can blame you if it fucks you. So here's my 3 categories. I said wise guys were a wise choice. It's such a big part of mafia movies. Mm-hmm. If you picked one in the wise guy genre, the mafia genre, you got a bonus point. Not a big deal.
Okay.
Right.
My next one was composure and decomposing. If you keep yourself composed and you let that body decompose for a while before it ultimately is discovered or ultimately disposed of, bonus point.
Okay.
And then we had the last dance, second chance. Last dance can have to do with, here it is, the final ride, you're going to die, it's the end. So this was the random chance. This was you draw your own card. I'm going to give the categories, and you're going to know if right now, this is where I debated. Do I draw them? You already know what you drew, and you're going to know what this did to you. You don't know the outcome yet. Spades, a.k.a. shovels. That's the tool that buries you. That's -2 points.
Oh, shit.
A heart. Well, that screams gives you life, especially in a video game or something. That's +2 points.
Okay.
Oh boy.
A diamond, nobody drew. That's kind of wealth. It adds to your that's a +1. No one got that. Club. Well, that's the thing that beats you down before they bury you. -1 point.
Okay.
Shit.
Yeah. I told you there's a fucking asterisk on this whole fucking thing.
I'm trying to think. You were 8 of hearts.
I had a club.
Oh, 8 of club.
He had a heart.
I had a heart.
Okay, you were the heart.
There were two clubs, a heart and a spade.
I was a club,
Yeah, a
and
spade.
you were a spade.
I'm down 2.
I'm down 1.
I'm down.
yeah, but it doesn't matter where
Plus
your
one.
pick
No,
was.
plus
I just
two?
wanted you to think about
You were
that.
plus 1 for the heart.
Yeah, plus
'Cause
one.
plus 2.
No, plus 2 for the heart.
Plus 2. That's what I'm saying.
Now, guys, we didn't actually like address this with you yet, but we do know that we have 2 guest drafters, both first time drafters, and both of them are trying to achieve better than Walter.
Right.
Tough.
Last
That means you
draft,
gotta
he
win it
got
all.
second, but we were just thinking like there's 2 BVK members, 50% of the drafters are non-BVK. There's a good chance that one of them, gets to that top level.
Is this the
It's
first
gonna happen.
draft where 2 out of 4 were guest
Yes.
drafted?
Oh, yeah. This is
Yes.
the first draft
Okay.
ever where we have 2 guest drafters,
Yes.
and it is a little bit of pressure. And Scotch and I talked. We actually talked. We're like, do we want to keep it 3 drafters? We're like, no, we like 4-person drafts.
4 is better.
4-person drafts is always better than 3-person drafts. So we brought in a second guest.
It's nerve-wracking in a very serious
Which is it's
movie draft.
stressful because when you're disposing bodies, it's stressful. Yeah,
I mean,
so-
some bodies might get disposed tonight. Who knows?
When you're rolling up against this guy,
I mean, it might be the judge. It might be the.
I should have had you guys
guest. Who
sign
knows?
a waiver before I agree to draft this or to judge
Well, you
this.
didn't hear earlier that Scotch said he buried 2 bodies earlier. I mean, that's why Nate and Zach are gone.
That's right.
I'm still here, so that's a good sign.
So far.
Well,
far.
you're gonna
You
give us
haven't given-
results.
I have given us results.
I walked into the room and I didn't see an empty room with newspaper on the floor, so I didn't feel like I was
You
getting
didn't say,
whacked
"Oh, no!"
on the spot. So it's good.
Do you think it's chance that I live out here by myself without a screaming distance? I
mean,
there's literally no
Yeah,
neighbors.
He's got 2 houses and a lot of orchards.
A lot
you
of
don't think
cats.
there's a body somewhere here?
Let me get
lot
the
of
panic
cats,
button
too.
on my remote, my key remote.
If you notice, those cats are very well fed.
They also were not very interested.
And he
in
knows
hanging out
how
with me,
he
so I
knows
was like,
how far a body can go down the canal.
All right, so
Points. Let's hear some points.
Point totals. Our 4th place had 29. Our 3rd place had 32. Our 2nd place had 36. And our clear winner, 41.
Ooh, shit! There's a clear winner.
So 29 to 41.
29 to 4. A little spread.
From bottom to top. Okay. That's a general Govs spread. It's like a right in that range.
Yep.
Okay. Wow. Boys, are we ready?
I'm ready.
I'm ready.
Absolutely.
Get the lie, get the shovels. Get
I'm
the tarp.
hoping that one of our guests is 4th, just because then it gives us a little bit less.
That's going to be a lot of pressure if a BVK
if one of us, the
member.
BVK guys, goes out first, then it's like, that's
That's
getting
rough.
wild.
Sweat.
All right.
Not just
I want to see
visibly
some
nervous.
sweat.
I wasn't nervous till right now.
Oh boy, listeners, if
I'm
you've been
nervous for
listening for a
Brad.
while,
Lot of
I
sweat there,
appreciate
Scotch.
you all. I appreciate you all because you understand that this is tension. We are concerned. All right, fourth place.
This is a different draft. This is a different category. And this result is a little different than typical. Our last place team with 29 points is the usual favorite. It is Team 1.
Includes Fargo, Wood Chipper Scene, 300. This is Sparta, Kick into Hole, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, Judge Doom, Shoe Dip, and Fried Green Tomatoes, the barbecue scene.
Gov, was it the fried green tomatoes that cost him on that one?
Or was it Roger Rabbit?
Well, fried green tomatoes, I believe, was your last pick.
That,
In the
that was,
draft.
that was Mr. Marlowe here. Our
Was
guest
my
draft
last place one. I've never seen the movie all the way through.
here. He said this. He said
I
he
went-
might
I
be
was-
damaging his draft.
I was taking a chance.
Well, but it was flat. But it, you take a flyer on it and it's last.
But
Yeah.
Govs, I will say, my wife, when I brought up the category today before I came over here, she's like, "Oh, fried green tomatoes."
See, and I know my wife has seen it, but I haven't heard.
We thought you were
mention
old.
of
That
this.
was like a movie. That
I
you
am
would have
old. I'm
seen.
also not Nate, so I haven't. So
That is true.
There's that, and
take care of
even
that
my
in
wife did not bring that up at all.
So I have a. So
I
here's the
couldn't
question.
find it on YouTube. I went on YouTube and I searched and I put different parameters in.
I
I was
said
like,
the same thing.
Yep.
I know Frank dies. I know that I cannot find the
clicked
scene
on
on
And
YouTube.
that's exactly what I said.
Allegedly.
I said, I'm going to damn myself because even if he's never seen this, you cannot find it on YouTube.
And I
couldn't
wondered,
find it.
is it referred to, or is he taking a flyer on the last pick? Like they mention it without seeing it. I couldn't find it. I didn't know it. If I would have found it and went like, oh shit, they cooked him, and
Right.
and there's it insinuates when you read the plot like they served him in the barbecue, and I was like, that would have been cool. I couldn't find it,
All right.
but
A pick I felt
it was
he's-
8 of hearts. It was plus.
He got plus
2. Not
So he got
that
last
that's
place
much,
and
you know.
plus 2.
It went from 1 point to 3 points.
Ouch.
That, yeah.
But it was,
Hey,
but I mean, it was to the specific pick though. So
yeah.
But
it
I
went
knew-
from point one, or 1
That's where
point
you-
to
yeah.
3 points.
But you know what? It's okay because like Scott says asterisks on this one, so it's fine.
This is true. Who Framed Roger Rabbit? I will say I really enjoyed this pick. I was very stoked about it.
I had it a couple spots lower than you guys had it. It was cool. I had to re-look it up, and I mean, I remember the movie, but
That straight up
it was
melts it.
it was close to where you
I
guys
know that's
were.
on YouTube because I've went back
yeah.
and watched it.
Okay, so
Wait, Brad. So you have watched? Was it in regards to this draft, or do
It's
you
a cartoon,
just watch?
so you know he saw
I
that
just
part.
like
You
I
watched
thought about
random
that
Roger
scene.
Rabbit scenes on YouTube.
You know, sometimes
He's got a poster of Jessica
the
in
way
his
you
room.
deal
so-
with
who
trauma,
doesn't?
sometimes the way you deal with trauma is, you say, I can challenge that. And you know what? That used to be traumatic to me, but now I can actually live with it. So I'll watch that scene just to make sure, you know what? It's not as bad as I thought it
okay,
was.
so I have a question real
It's
quick.
just me healing, okay?
Yeah.
P-Man, can I have some healing in my own life?
Absolutely,
All right.
absolutely.
So the 300, this is Sparta scene. So my first initial thought was, is it a disposal or is it a murder or is it both? And did that hurt the pick, or in your mind you're like, hey, it's great pick? So because it took me by surprise, because I didn't think of it, which I thought was awesome.
This is the 8th overall pick.
I had it at 10.
Okay.
in mine,
So ballpark.
and
Yeah.
I considered dropping it.
Oh wow.
Wow,
Really?
Like,
Well, because it goes back to the question of rules. Like, is killing someone?
right.
It is disposing of the body. I guess they're not going to find
At the
it.
same time,
It's kind of fortuitous. It's like, I'm going to kill this guy, but also I get to dispose of the body at the same time.
right?
But see, I didn't know. That's why I asked them: is the language is body meaning like we've got a dead body on our hands? We need to get rid of this.
Basically,
We didn't define that.
Correct.
basically, we couldn't decide, so we said, let's let you decide.
It is disposing of the person, but it's
Yeah.
it's basically, I assume, murdering them unless there's a bottomless supernatural
Body
pit
doesn't
that he went
necessarily
into.
mean it's a dead body.
True. I mean, I guess so, but it didn't move much. Like I wasn't like, oh, that's not a body. I'm putting it down in the last 2 picks. So
All right, so
That level of scrutiny
Now-
bodes bad for me.
Now, number one, was that the running away number 1 pick?
well, his
Fargo,
Fargo, wood chipper.
is that in your mind? Is that 101?
it is not.
Wow.
Really?
Interesting.
Oh.
Okay.
It is. It was on my list that I just short brainstorm, and I was like, well, they're probably going to pick it. I didn't know if it was going to get picked super high, top 1 or 2, because it's not super brief, but it's a little brief, and he gets caught. It's grisly. Everyone remembers it,
Right.
but it wasn't as drawn out. I put that at number 4 on my list.
Wow. Interesting. Yeah, I think the one argument I was talking to my girlfriend about this, and like I said, dude, that's got to be 101, right? And she's like, yeah, but he gets caught like as it's happening. So is it a good disposal? Because
Yeah.
like so
It's memorable.
And like Matt talked about,
Memorable.
it's in the snow. I know
The red
memorable.
spray is memorable.
And memorable.
Govs, I will say
Exactly.
that between this crew, we kind of were like, yeah, that seems
We had a
that's gotta be
consensus number 1.
Okay,
But-
well, I'm
All right.
But that's why he's the draft
Interesting.
judge. That's why he's the draft
That's
judge.
the draft judge. The draft judge rules.
See,
I
we-
played
you
with that
can't
pick a
argue
little bit.
with the
It was a
draft
top
judge.
4. It was the first rounder.
We don't want a yes man as the draft judge.
Not at
We
all.
want somebody who's going to crush dreams.
No,
Like the song
you
says.
don't.
Like
Exactly.
mine.
Oh, Maddie. He was so confident about 10 minutes ago. Remember
I
that?
was. I was.
I may have said earlier
Now I'm
that
about ready
he
to
was
flip this
like,
fucking table over.
I know. He's just like, fuck this. When I'm going home, can I go home?
I also want to point out this is another, I think the second in a row where there's not only are there people drafting that I know one, not know one very well other than hearing on podcasts. I would have zero clue who picked what in this. There's not like
So you didn't think it was Brad's team at all?
No.
Because of Roger Rabbit?
no, it was.
I thought that might, but I will say,
Subtle.
maybe all I told Maddie was like, he's just hella old, and he's like, oh fuck it, I'll go fried green tomatoes. So
I mean,
you
that's
know
not
what?
the wrong call. It's just the
didn't work.
wrong
Yeah.
It didn't
genre,
work.
wrong gender.
And like I said, I said it before I even drafted
you
it.
did say
I said this is
very
going to make
specifically.
or break me because
but it was your last pick. I mean,
And with the last pick, you can take some chances.
No, for
Yeah,
sure. And
yeah.
maybe you take a flyer and it jumps a bunch, but
Yeah.
Because I knew that would if you seen it, you would know what it was and you would give it more points. But if you never seen it, you're like, I can't find this
And you
anywhere.
can't YouTube it.
that's what it was.
That's a
That's
tough
the
one.
and I knew it. So
Maddie-
but I took a chance.
Matt, it's
unfortunate.
your first time, and so you should know there's some grenadine over there for you, and you have no more opinions.
Last time I drank grenadine on my podcast.
Am I wrong?
I got shit for it.
Am I wrong?
That's what I hear.
That's no, well, because you tried Nate's drink and it was terrible.
Oh, it's disgusting.
All right, third place.
All right, we are moving forward now.
Third place?
Third place.
We are to third place.
Third place.
32 points. Is that what it
32
was?
points. Team 3.
Team 3 includes Weekend at Bernie's, Bernie, Goodfella, Billy Bats, Extended Disposal, The Big Lebowski, Donnie's ashes are just dispersed on the dude,
That's the pick of the draft,
and La Femme Nikita, Victor the Cleaner, Acid Scene.
and that fucked him.
The French film fucked me.
I feel like we could have burned
way down there.
Hey, Scotch. BVK for life.
Represent.
BVK for life.
There's a reason we do this.
This is where we put the
are
disclaimer in.
professionals,
There was no
No, wait. We already talked about this. There's an asterisk behind this. We've already talked about this.
no signals. I'm going to tap
I
twice.
choose where the asterisk goes. All right.
No secret code on the card you turned in.
By the way, I think I've had an asterisk thrown on like most of my wins by this motherfucker
there's
over here.
there's a lot that are still being, going through litigation and stuff. So
Yeah.
that's the way it goes on the BVK podcast. but-
P-Man, dude, great. That you came out of the gates. It was good. Now,
Okay, now let's go.
talk
To,
about
let's go to. We got to hear P-Man's because P-Man. I will say every pick he made, he was like,
He went with his fucking.
"I'm going controversial. I'm going wild," and we appreciated that. Let's start with.
If you don't
let's
live
start
on
from
the
top.
edge, what's the point, Brad?
Exactly. Let's start from the top. Weekend at Bernie's.
Doesn't
Bernie.
count. Doesn't count.
Did you
Wait, that
disqualify that one because
Weekend
he
at
wasn't-
Bernie's was not his first pick.
Yes.
That was.
Did you pick the wrong team?
Oh no, we need a recount.
Oh, I have team
Hold on.
3.
Recount.
32 points. Team 3. Oh, Weekend. Oh, yeah. Okay. I got it.
Shit.
Man, I got excited for
No,
a
you're
second.
right.
I got excited for a second.
I've got the team.
Hey, Marlo's like, "You're telling me there's a chance?"
Tell me there's a chance here.
I've got the teams
I don't know what's going on.
right. One, two,
Govs?
four, yeah. So your first round pick was not your highest scoring pick, is what happened.
Okay.
Interesting.
Okay,
Right.
so-
Because Lebowski. Was probably better.
No. So Weekend at Bernie's, I had at number 8.
Okay.
Ooh,
And
I
here's
thought that
why.
was one of my top 3.
Well, so I've seen it a few times. I watched clips. What's the disposal? Is it the kid burying him in the sand?
That's what I said. There's no disposal.
That's okay. So the disposal is the kid buries him, and then at the very end, like he falls out or whatever, and the kid comes rolling back. Oh, it's the same kid that buried him, or like up to his face, thinking it's just some dude passed out there. Maybe
here's
they use him, they keep him. Disposal.
Here's my statement:
tough.
is that they are disposing of him in plain sight. They don't want people to know he's dead, and so they're marionetting him.
In my mind, if you keep and use something, you have not disposed of it.
They disposed the body because they
mean,
didn't
it's
want the
hard to
body to be
argue with
found.
that.
That's a good point.
Wow.
Right there.
Metaphorically,
That's a good point.
While Bernie was doing all his shit with them, was he found?
The Gov makes a better point than you did.
If my wife was like, "Fucking dispose of this shit," and I'm walking around the house with it next week,
Like a puppeteer.
I have not disposed of that shit, according to my wife.
and she doesn't know. If she was not able to tell that actually that has been disposed of,
She'd be like, "That looks exactly like the thing I told you."
no, but because she knows it's dead. Nobody knew that he was dead, and they didn't want people to know that he was dead.
I've got a bright yellow Bismarcky shirt that she's tried to dispose of once, and I recovered it. I still have it.
If you
it has not been disposed
if you
of.
reintroduced it as like a pillow and was like it was just a pillow and like she didn't know,
Nope.
P-Man, I'm trying to defend you, man.
Gov, I gotta ask though.
Yeah.
Did Lafib Nikita cost me?
Yeah. Well, yes. It was a low as a last round pick, so it only dropped one spot. I have not seen that movie either.
That's the
Were
risk.
you able to
take.
YouTube
That's
it
the
at
risk
all?
you take.
Even with a YouTube, it's still
Okay.
well.
Did you know it was a Beastie Boys reference?
I did not, but that sounds familiar.
Would you like to rescore it?
I would not like to rescore it this time. That includes math.
Okay, so he wore the T-shirt, which is the reburial in Goodfellas.
Billy Bats, extended disposal.
That is my number 3 overall.
Okay.
Good call.
I think
I
because
picked it
there's a
number 3.
disposal.
Yeah.
There's a disposal twice. I got the wise guy bonus.
Right.
I didn't give it the composure and decomposing, but they had to redig them up 6 months later because they're gonna
They had to
like
move
they
it.
bought the land. They're gonna build condominiums.
Right.
But they were not composed. They were like, oh, we got to get out there and dig this shit up and redo this fast. Like so, it just gave it the wise guy bonus.
Okay.
And now again,
Lebowski.
another interesting
How
pick.
did Lebowski go?
How did Lebowski do?
So, I would not have come up with this.
None of us did.
Yeah.
It's one of my
a
favorite
bold pick.
movies.
Yeah.
It's I almost came up with a category called crazy creative cremation. I was like,
Let's
I don't
do
even
that
know
right
if there's
now.
going to be.
Didn't bring the CCC out.
I didn't know if there was going to be
now.
a cremation.
Oh no!
So you picked it. It was 11th overall. I had it 9th overall, and I love that it came up.
It is to the T the definition of memorable body disposal. They are
if you
disposing of a body that has been cremated.
I don't know that you jump 5 points, but if you want to have this under protest, in reviewing this, I have a case for moving it up more, but it's tough. It's tough. It was a hard one to place. It caught me off guard, and I loved it.
I did too.
Oh,
I fucking loved
it. It was one of my favorite picks.
That's
of
one of the
day.
maddest
right
I've
there,
been
Frame Roger
that I
Rabbit.
didn't think of it. That's the one of the
Yeah,
maddest times I was like,
great,
oh my
great.
god.
I'll take that as a moral victory.
I think it should be. Like if I look at this and go, "What's the surprise pick of the draft that I loved?" This is it.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yep. That's like rookie of the year right there.
Yep.
I feel like
There you go.
for future judging,
Is it rookie of the
I
year
feel
or
like-
best sportsmanship? Because there's a difference, Scott.
Govs, I feel like for future reference, we got snorts out of Scotch. That's pretty nice.
Best sportsmanship is basically the kid who picks his nose in right field. We all know that.
Oh shit.
Future
If he gets
reference
in.
judging, maybe that 2, 3, 5 point bonus or something of like that pick just knocked the socks off.
Yeah,
and
but-
it deserves.
And
that
I had a
points.
-2 for 8 of spades. So.
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh
Eight
shit.
of spades. It was eight of
What-
spades.
what
That
was
was the Lebowski pick too.
What was the point
Oh,
difference
wow.
between the third and second?
Third place had 32. Second had 36. So
3.
better luck on the spades. And if I reevaluate,
Oh shit.
you know, in
Really
the,
close.
If they do I know you guys hate Marvel, but if they do the what if, man, you could take second on this one.
Wow. Well,
All right.
There's a timeline where I win.
1 in
All right.
14 million.
All right, so we have the two BVK hosts here
Oh God.
at 36 and 41. 36 and 40. 5 point differential. So that's significant.
well, he did use the word clear winner. So
I did use the word clear winner.
He did. So we've got one that he feels very strongly about. and
Well,
one that
clear
did
winner
okay.
could be influenced by bonus points. I didn't even there's not one where I'm like the best by far. I just did the math.
What'd you
It
get?
came out.
You got
Out of
what?
club.
So you got -2.
Minus one.
Minus one.
Oh, we
beat
both
down.
got -1.
Yeah. So
Okay,
that
so
didn't
not
factor.
buried, yeah.
minus
even it.
one. The extra points don't factor here.
Yep.
So let's see what happened here. Mr. Govs, which team got second place?
I'm gonna get accused if Scott wins. I'm gonna get accused of
Of being
unintentional old guy bias, like I have been
AARP,
before.
The two AARP members
glad Zach's
are
not here.
colluding. We understand, retired people got to stick together. So
That's right.
what do
if
we got?
Scotch gets if Scotch wins, asterisk anyway. He said
True, true.
he said
He said it
it
from the
earlier for the beginning. So
Maybe I'll edit that. Ooh.
Okay,
If he wins, definitely not editing that.
our third place team,
Second
with-
place team.
or excuse me,
Second place team.
team with 36 points. Team 4.
Team 4 is Casino Joe Pesci baseball bat burial, Gross Point Blank furnace disposal after high school karate fight, Lethal Weapon 2 Riggs' girlfriend dead in the ocean, and Vacation Aunt Edna on the porch.
Asterisk.
I agree.
Editing. Don't forget who edits this goddamn
Gov,
pod.
I got to know because Scotch stole Gross Point Blank from me. How high did you put that in there? And would it have made a difference?
Oh boy,
I have
let's
it.
hear.
So it was your 5th overall.
Yes.
It was
My fifth. Yeah.
Yeah, it was the 5th pick overall. It was my 5th pick.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, great. It was really good. That's a fun movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
Casino.
Casino Joe Pesci baseball bat burial.
Burial.
Uh-huh. Number 2 overall. And it got the wise guy bonus.
Yeah.
I almost dropped this lower, but we didn't have any discussion about rules. Like
He was
they kind of
bury him alive.
Yeah. So
they dispose of him.
But
yeah, they dispose
we,
of him.
we were talking. We were saying like if the intention was like
it
as
stayed
they
at number
walk
2.
away, they're expecting that the person's going to be dead.
Yeah. Yep. And
We'll actually talk about that in also rans, but yeah, that's kind of a thing where I felt like if the intention was that person's going to be dead.
Yeah, and they're definitely the intention is he's disposed of.
And
Yes.
that was your number 2 pick.
That was my number 2 overall.
That was my number. That was gonna be my number 2.
And I don't like the distinction of
I still
dead,
think
not dead.
you doing
would not have jumped it to number 1. I don't think.
Right.
Fargo wood chipper number 1 in all our votes,
yeah.
except for our judge.
Well,
Which is what counts.
I think sounds like you got the number 1 though. You got the wolf. So
Well, we'll see.
Yeah.
Lethal Weapon 2. We've got Riggs' girlfriend dead in the ocean.
So I
You
have
get
that at
thrown in
number
with the straight-
12.
Oh, okay.
didn't rank high,
You had it at number 12.
and I threw my card on that, which I guess it didn't really matter who I put.
I didn't let bias come in. I wanted to pick it higher because watching that movie as a younger man or teen or I don't remember what year it came out. Oh, she was so hot.
That's what me and Scott said.
and I don't know if that makes it like it's super memorable, but I was upset.
I know, me too. That's why it's memorable.
The hot South African, and he's like, been through rough times, and he
finally
does the
meets-
hot.
yeah.
She's probably way younger than actor Mel Gibson at the time.
But he meets Rene Russo
Debate
the next
appropriateness.
one. So
But man,
It was such a
Lethal Weapon
shocking
3
moment.
It is Rene Russo. That's right. Yeah. And then Aunt
man.
Edna on the porch.
Yeah.
I didn't think about that.
I liked it. It was number 14 overall for me, so it actually dropped one spot.
Yeah.
It was funny.
They were getting weird. I go, I'm gonna get weird too. And
There's an also ran that actually is like it's like the brother to that one.
I think I know what it is.
I
too.
think I have that in mine as well.
All right. So,
Damn it.
yeah, that was Team 4. BVK finishes second and first on this pod
Yeah.
with the first place team
I can't believe I got beat by Petey the fucking bird.
being Team 2, which had Pulp Fiction, The Marvin Cleanup, Psycho, Norman Bates' Mom, Sin City, Kevin Tied to a Tree and Fed to His Dogs, and Dumb and Dumber, Petey the Bird sold to Billy the Blind Kid.
Okay, so yeah, 41 points. So this was
So the wolf was number 1, right? To you in your brain.
The Wolf was
Fiction,
number 1. Pulp
Marvin
Fiction,
Cleanup
Marvin
was
Cleanup.
number 1.
It's. I debated, do I give it the composure and decomposing, but they weren't very composed. Like they needed help, so I did not give it the bonus.
The wolf was composed.
The wolf was composed.
The wolf was composed.
But he was also the one that actually got rid of it. He was the one that
true.
disposed of it.
Yeah.
Is Wolf mobster?
He's mobster adjacent.
crime.
They kind of all are in a way.
Yeah. I
He's a
don't know.
private contractor.
Crime
a cleaner.
world.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
a cleaner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that to me that was number 1 of 1 because the Marvin Cleanup. What a great string of events.
That's
It's
what
an
we
amazing
said.
movie.
20 minutes of the movie is devoted to the cleanup and all the things associated with this whole
Even the director is in there, like involved in the house. So.
being a little inappropriate to say
Yeah.
the least.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. At least he wasn't. He didn't put himself.
Storage.
He didn't involve himself in a woman actress's foot.
Yeah, at least he didn't lick
No,
Marvin's
foot
feet,
fetish
I
in this
guess.
Yeah. Psycho.
Psycho, Norman Bates' mom.
Okay, this one I struggled with. I moved it around. This is the hardest one I had.
What my
hardest time
defense
placing.
was disposal in plain sight, which is
Well,
a sense of
use a lot.
disposal.
plain sight, but not plain sight because it's not like he's
revealed.
having people roll into the house and be like, "Oh, the bathroom's down the hall," and here's this gross, like deteriorated mom body in the bathtub kind of thing. Like, no.
No, that's true.
So, yeah, I ended up putting that number 6 overall, and it had the composure and decomposing
Yeah.
bonus. I struggled where to put that though.
Okay.
I really did, but I liked it. The more I thought about it, the better it got.
People were we'll get to also rans. We'll talk about also rans.
I had an also ran from Psycho.
Yeah, Sin City, Kevin tied to a tree and fed to his dog.
Man, so good, so good. So I originally had an ulcer, and I think there was a scene where there was like someone's head.
Mm-hmm. They use it as the explosives at the end.
One I thought.
I almost went with that.
Not the correct
instead of Aunt Edna.
Yeah, no.
I almost went with that, but I went with a comedy
because it talks to him, like the head talks to him and stuff.
Yeah.
Like it's all weird, and it gets
Jackie
thrown.
Boy.
It gets thrown into the La Brea tar pits, and they get out, and then eventually uses the bomb.
But this one was wild because the guy, like, no reaction. No, he's like smiling at him, and he's like gets no satisfaction out when the wolf comes out to start eating him. It was creepy. It was great.
I dig that because that's exactly what I said. He's smiling.
Great disposal
as it happens.
He's pissed off that I'm going to set this big scene up, and I'm going to tie him to the tree, and limbs are cut off, and the motherfucker smiles
blood,
the whole time.
And they have been eating forever.
Yep. Nope, just smiled.
All right, let's talk about Petey the
Dumb and Dumber. Was that a fun, weird pick, or what was that?
Please tell me it was last.
It was in my last 4. It was the last round placement.
Okay.
I was so thrown off by this that it endeared it to me.
That's exactly what I was going for.
13 out of 16. So last round.
Yeah.
My favorite of the last round.
That's fucking
ridiculous.
Insane to me.
I loved it.
I took care of it.
Yeah. It just, the memorable, it's so over the top.
It's got duct tape around its neck.
Yeah, and the kid's like,
pretty bird.
Pretty bird.
Oh, man. And even, I think, later it comes up because the hitmen find out, and they're like, we're dealing with some real psychos here.
Yeah, they walk out. As they walk out, they see him, touching it, and they're looking at it like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Wow. Okay.
Hey, that's how you get a W, folks.
Oh, fuck off.
That's how you get a W.
It's an asterisk.
Hey, all I know is we didn't lose to the Rooks, man.
That's true.
You know under protest. Officially under protest.
Walter, I know you're listening to this.
I'm filing a grievance right now.
Walter is
listening to this, and he knows that Marlo was saying, hey, I'm going to go out there and run shop. And he didn't.
He didn't. Not even close.
Well, to be fair, everybody at this table but the Gov thought that my first pick.
It was wonderful. Well, absolutely the right number 1 pick.
It's all right. It's all right.
But and like I said, your 4th pick, you're gonna get. My wife will see you next time she sees you at Last Call. She'll probably buy you a beer because she's like, that was the right pick. She really liked that pick. Fried green tomatoes.
It's not. I mean, if you're in the top 4, it's not. Fried green tomatoes. Yeah, sorry, no, that's a bad pick. Actually, I take that back.
And
it could be a good pick. I couldn't find out.
No, she will not buy the Gov a beer.
You know what, though? I will say, so if you watch the movie, it's very ambiguous whether or not they did or not, which is what I was kind of going for anyway. So I get it. It's cool. And I said it. You can't find it on YouTube.
Yeah.
If you've never seen it, yeah.
All right, folks. I know we are excited to talk, and this has been a long draft. We don't have. I expected with all the discussion this would be a longer draft, and it has been. And so we've got to get to this part of the draft.
How the fuck could we miss that one? I just don't understand. It's our also ran. You idiots.
All right. Also rans, Govs. You are our judge. You get to go ahead and tell us how we fucked up first.
So I liked a lot of what you picked.
Did you play the song?
Yes.
Yes, you did.
Yes, we did.
Never mind.
It happened
you played it and then you stopped it. Yeah.
No, it happened seconds ago. What's wrong with you?
Due to the magic of editing, that literally happened seconds ago.
I'm going to make you look like a fool.
It's not hard. It's really not
hard. Yeah. So
in no particular order, I didn't order them like strong to, weak or anything. I'll just run through a few if you hear something that sparks something you thought of. I had another. I thought the other.
I hope it sparks joy in me.
I thought the other Psycho scene was kind of cool when he gets rid of Marion's body and the cash and everything in the car and sinks it in the swamp, and it looks like it's going into straight up like wet cement. That was cool.
They all looked at me when I was picking Psycho.
Yeah. That wasn't the one I was thinking of. I was thinking of the one with the cleanup after the shower scene.
Yeah.
When he gets rid of Janet. Okay, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, sorry.
So I also thought maybe the nice guys, the body in the woods, when not fat Russell Crowe yet. Russell Crowe and Ryan Gosling have to get rid of the body. they threw down the thing, and then he ends up landing next to it. He's sitting next to it. My wife's answer was a movie I bet no one here has seen, but Nate's probably seen. Practical Magic.
Yeah.
98.
I've seen it.
Sandra Bullock and I forget who else. No, it's not Nicole Kidman. Nicole Kidman. She kills the boyfriend and casts a spell and resurrects him, and they have to kill him again and then get rid of the body. That was kind of cool.
Where he says, "I'm so into sisters."
Yeah. So another one, I think, based on what you guys allowed, would have been dope.
Okay.
Hannibal. He feeds the guy
pigs.
to the boars.
Yeah.
Snatch.
was
What about Snatch?
No, Snatch. He talks about it.
Yeah, they never show it in Snatch.
They don't
Rick
actually show
Top
it. He
says,
talks about six.
I'm going to give you some practical advice.
Six pieces. 16 pigs.
Yeah.
They eat 2 pounds a minute.
Well,
200-pound man.
At one point, he does say feed him to the pigs, Errol, but you don't actually see it.
Right.
And so, but yeah, in Hannibal,
You actually see it.
but again, it's like they're eating him alive.
Yes.
Like Gary Oldman, and so
That's why I say if we're going to count,
if we're gonna count it,
I'm
then
disposing of this body.
That's what I think.
That shit's disposed.
right.
Yeah,
yeah.
If they're alive when they're getting disposed of,
I thought
think
about
that
it for
counts.
sure.
I thought of Brick Top first.
Right.
And then I was like, wait, that's the discussion. Then I thought, Hannibal's where they dumped him in.
So if I would have picked that one over Fried Green Tomatoes,
it might have been a whole nother ballgame.
see, because I almost picked that.
Whole
one.
nother ballgame.
I almost. That's when I was.
So we have a variety of BVK movies that we've covered that actually had some scenes. Some of them basement tapes, but some of them the episodes we've done. I'm just going to run through them real quick. Frailty, the Rose Garden bumps, which also has a famous commercial that I talked about, the bumps in the Rose Garden. We also had...
I've got a few more.
We did Hereditary, which is disposal by just leave it on the side of the road.
Oh shit!
That's disposal.
His choice of disposal was
Just driving on.
People
just drive
throw
off and
trash
forget
in
about
the
it.
orchard.
Just leave her head there and let the ants get it.
You just leave the head there.
Okay.
We also had Kill Bill, just buried alive.
Yep.
You put them in a box and you put them in the ground.
Yeah, but she didn't die.
She didn't get
I know,
disposed of.
but the intention was of the people disposing the body. They were burying and even the blonde girl, Ellie, whatever her name is. She says, if you want to go pay your respects, go
Right.
to this particular grave.
So you're
Everybody
going
assumes
Is intention more
the
important than
thought that
execution?
counts defense.
That would have been interesting.
So
It
let me
would've been
let me just
interesting.
jump on the back of that. I know you're doing a BVK tie-in here real quick, but I just want to jump on the whole buried body thing. There's a movie called The Vanishing with Kiefer Sutherland, Sandra Bullock, and the dude is the bad guy in it. And so the whole time Kiefer Sutherland is trying to find his girlfriend, Sandra Bullock, who's been kidnapped or whatever. And the dude is fucking crazy. And at the end, he ends up burying Kiefer Sutherland because he wants to know what she went through, whatever. But Sandra Bullock was the one that actually got buried alive, and she's dead. So I was gonna actually pick that. And
Sounds really convoluted.
it's really no, I didn't pick it,
I don't
but,
be like-
but it's an also round. But yeah, but
I haven't seen it. Thank you for spoiling it.
right.
I was going to say the one that was a basement tape, Very Bad Things.
Okay, so that is on my list, and
Putting
we've talked about scenes
multiple pieces of people into 2 suitcases, then you go put them into and then the fact that he's like, no, we got to put their pieces together, and so they have to like do the puzzle of like,
But
okay, this goes there.
It had that mafia feel because it's out in the
a
desert.
little, yeah, a little
The
bit.
dismembered first and buried in the desert. That sounds like something that happens to, guys that get whacked. I had Walled In just in case. Maybe Zach would have snuck in with that. It's an old horror movie. The very opening is they're making a building and they're pouring like a column with cement, and there's like a little kid, like a little girl who's in there, and she's looking up, and she just gets covered.
Wow.
And you find out there's some other weird shit with the buildings they made.
I have a feeling if Zach was here, we would have
might
a
have.
whole bunch of other really crazy, weird.
Oh,
horror
yeah.
shit.
I was gonna say there'd be a lot of crazy ones.
So here's one I really liked. Deliverance. The group buries the rapist redneck, and the arms kind of sticking out, and they're trying to tuck them all in at the very last second. That was cool. El Camino, I'm a big Breaking Bad fan. El Camino is a movie. The Todd's cleaning lady. I don't know if you've seen the El Camino Breaking Bad movie. The lady killers are dumping the bodies off onto the trash barge. Like, how are they going to find out where they showed up? Don't Tell Mom Babysitter's Dead. Was that the adjacent one?
That was the adjacent one.
Put her in the trunk, dropped her off at the morgue. Say she was a nice lady. She died naturally, natural causes.
Natural causes. They put her at the funeral home.
And then very bad things. Yeah, it was the last on my list.
Okay. Other folks, what do we got?
So we talked about the grenade in the head in Sin City. And then, so here's one that I was thinking about that might have been a little controversial. I wonder if you guys would have accepted it. The whole Layla montage from Goodfellas. Or would have had to have picked a specific one.
No. I think I would have said the frozen in the meat locker.
In the meat locker guy would have been
That's
if I picked
disposal.
one. But yeah,
because obviously the shot up in the pink Cadillac, that's not really body disposal. They didn't. Right. They just shot him
put it there
and bounce.
Right.
In the trash, it's not very great.
But it's memorable.
But it is memorable because the dude's like, whoa, hold up.
So would have that have scored better than my?
That one always makes me think. It's like, what the fuck were they thinking? Like they didn't think the trash was gonna get compacted, and these guys would like realize. Like, I don't know.
Yep. Another one, another gangster movie, which I would have got the gangster bonus if I had picked this.
Wise guys, yeah.
Donnie Brasco. So they have the ambush in the basement, and they end up killing all the bad guys, and then they're gonna have to cut them all up, and Johnny Depp gets brought in, and it's like, hey, help me fillet this fat fuck, and then it's Bruno Kirby, and they end up fucking whacking him too. They think he's the rat,
right?
And then fucking Donnie Brasco, he's a cop undercover, has to help cut up all the bodies.
Well, it's cool and it's memorable, and it's that, hey, here's your test. Like, you're the good guy,
right?
Posing as a bad guy. You gotta really do some bad shit here.
No shit. So that was.
It would have been all right. Yeah, it would have been good.
Yeah. Anybody else?
We've got Sam Raimi's A Simple Plan.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They have the dude that kind of like
snowmobile
guy, and they're like, let's just put him on the snowmobile and launch him off the bridge.
Yeah, send him.
There you go. That's a way to dispose. Make it think that he's killing himself.
What about Suicide Kings? Christopher Walken feeds the guys to his dogs.
Yeah.
To his Dobermans.
Oh, I haven't seen that movie in a long time. I would have had to YouTubed it.
And then I also got Sweeney Todd, like pretty much the whole movie. Sweeney Todd.
They're putting folks in pies. Yeah.
Speaking of whole movies, the entire movie is Soylent Green.
Yes.
It's people, I heard.
That one would have been tough because it's like, I mean, yeah, what do you say?
No, but
like,
see, it's old. It's cool. Like, it has that outside the box kind of thing. It's a cool way to dispose of people. People don't know. Like, it's secretive.
Yeah.
It's like fried green tomatoes when they're barbecuing people.
So I've heard. I try to find I try to see it.
So then I also had, you said Lethal Weapon 2.
Right.
I say Lethal Weapon 3 where he buries him in the cement.
Yeah, that's cool too.
Yeah.
But man, hot South African girlfriend, man.
I agree with that.
I didn't get to mention another BVK one, The Prestige.
Oh.
Those bodies keep dropping in the capsules over and over, and then they discover that whole wall of all of those dead. What's his name? What's his name?
It's Christian Bale, but I don't know.
Hugh Jackman.
Jackman.
All the dead Hugh Jackmans in the little boxes.
What about Little Shop of Horrors?
Ooh,
where he feeds Steve Martin to Audrey 2.
See, that'd have been interesting because
that's a good pick.
I don't think I would have thought like, hey, you're just murdering someone because it's not a person doing it. Like, you're disposing of it by.
Well, he was dead
the
already from the gas.
Yeah.
He killed himself with the gas.
Yeah, nuts dispose of the body. No, that'd have been really good.
So
what about a criminally not underrated, because I think people who see it like the movie, but underviewed, Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. Val Kilmer and RDJ, when he's in the hotel suite and he's trying to tell him how to get rid of the body, and he goes, "Don't touch it, whatever you do, don't do this, don't do that." And Robert Downey Jr. goes, "I peed on the corpse." That's a pretty good scene.
Sounds awesome.
It's a pretty good scene.
I've never seen it.
Never seen it.
You got to see it. It's a good movie. It's a good movie.
I heard good things about that.
You sold it to me
I
there.
do have two more wild ones here. So, Indiana Jones Temple of Doom.
I said, put him into lava.
Yep, he rips out his heart. They lower him into the lava.
Yeah, that was cool.
That is
So I wasn't
straight up
sure.
body disposal. I had it on my list.
That would have been like a crazy one.
I'm a big Indiana Jones fan. That would have helped.
And this one, Zach probably would have got this one. I don't know if anybody else at the table would have. Return of the Living Dead.
Oh.
The cremation scene.
Okay. I'm a huge Return of the Living Dead fan. It's my favorite cheesy 80s horror movie.
Yeah.
He put this when he pulls himself into the crematorium.
No,
right?
where they throw the cut up zombie. They throw him they're cremating
I
it.
thought there was a scene where the guy's like takes his ring off and like pulls himself into.
No, this is where they throw him into
from that, right?
They throw him in the cremator, and then
the guy knows he's going to turn.
and then it's just
They did have all the
up.
pieces in the bag.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking
okay.
about. They throw it, and then it turns into smoke, and then it goes in the clouds, and it rains, and all the other zombies start coming up because of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Kind of a fucked up body disposal.
Yeah.
yeah.
There's a couple mixed nuts. Anybody a mixed nuts fan?
I remember mixing this. Steve
seen
Martin.
it.
They put Stanley, the actual like the guy that owns the building in the Christmas tree.
Yeah.
But then they end up finding out he's the strangler, the seaside strangler.
That's right.
Yeah, so that's kind of a fucked up one. Is Strange Brew when they put them in the beer can.
Oh, here we go.
But no, they weren't dead when they put it.
No,
in.
yeah.
It's disposable. That's a murder.
They're disposing of bodies.
They're trying to murder him. I don't know. I
mean,
They've tranked them
It's
already.
been a gray area. This
I
trip.
know.
The whole point is that they're going out. They're going to go get launched out into the lake, and they're going to die.
I love that movie.
Yeah.
I don't think it scores high.
Okay. And then we've got a few more. This one is true to my heart. In Return of the Jedi, are they disposing of a body when they burn Darth Vader at the end?
Ooh.
Is that? I mean, it's a ceremony, but they're disposing of a body.
Okay, well, so
Kind of memorable. They're
Are
burning
they
them.
disposing of the stormtroopers? The Ewoks are eating them.
no, you just made me think of something though.
The fucking Return of the Jedi throwing them into the desert and that monster.
You just made me
the
think of
Sarlacc.
something that
Sarlacc.
would have
Sarlacc.
scored. You made me think of something that would have scored high. I am very much a Star Wars geek, more so than Star Trek.
Yes.
But the launching of Spock's body in the photon case that ends up on the planet, after the
Star Trek 2, which
Wrath
goes
of
into
Khan.
Star Trek 3.
Yes, the
Okay.
Genesis.
Well, speaking of launching people to space, what about 2001: A Space Odyssey? Hal basically jettisons Frank out into the ether, but Dave rescues him.
I like that too. And
Doesn't rescue him.
so
Yeah, Dave. He grabs the body and he brings it. He
doesn't
brings it
dispose of
back.
You're right.
Like Hal tried to get away with it, and Dave realizes it, but he tried to get rid of Frank.
I mean, you could say Starship Troopers too, where they shoot her out into space.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I don't know why this
Disney.
entered my brain when I first started brainstorming. One of my first thoughts was the alien queen ejected, like an alien.
Yeah.
Was it alien or aliens
It
when
was
the
still
queen gets
alive
ejected?
though. But
But you're just we got to
Yeah.
get this shit out of here, like dispose of it. But I was like,
It's that gray
well, that's
area.
weird, and it's not even a human. That's why I texted Brad and I was like, does the disposal have to be a human?
Well, if the
body?
Dumb and Dumber parrot.
I mean, that qualified.
Hey,
Right.
that was a great pick. That was a great.
Speaking
pick.
of animals, real quick. So a funny one that I thought of.
Pet Cemetery, man.
So in the in the little movie that Brad hasn't seen called Animal House, they end up accidentally.
What?
They accidentally.
true.
They,
It's true.
they accidentally kill a horse,
Yeah.
and then the measures and realizes it's not going to fit. He busts out the chainsaw.
No, that could.
That's another one I saw 17 times with you at your house
I know.
back then.
And I still haven't seen Dance.
Double
with the Wolves.
feature with Porky's.
It beats Aunt Edna,
And
La Femme Nikita, and fried green tomatoes.
one more Ari Aster. If you go to Midsummer, when they put him in the bear costume at the end, and
Oh, yeah.
they just burn everything. I mean, that's disposing of bodies
That's-
in a terrible way because they're all just sitting there knowing that they're going to burn.
Zach 100% would have picked that if he was here.
You think he's
he
going
would have
for
gone
sure
Midsummer. 100%.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
it's at the end they've got him in there and they just start burning that shit down.
I want to mention this one just because it's not memorable because I don't think many people have seen this movie, but I wanted to because I think you should watch this. 3 Burials of Melquiades Estrada. Have you seen that movie, P-Man? Or have you heard of it?
Bits and pieces.
Yeah, it's a very, very, very good movie. Tommy Lee Jones, Barry Pepper, and this Mexican worker accidentally gets shot by Barry Pepper, and they end up having to bury him multiple times. So I want.
Is this based on a true story?
It's not a true story, but
Okay.
but as far as I know, but it's a really heart wrenching movie, really, really good. So check it out. But again, not drafty, but I just wanted to at least bring it up. So it's a really good movie.
I couldn't come up with a specific movie, but is there like maybe a historical or a really poignant like movie where there's genocide and there's like mass burial and mass graves? Or I couldn't think of a specific one. It'd be It'd be
You could go
You know
like
what,
gloomy and dark,
The,
but
the
it could be
BVK
memorable.
podcast tries to stay away from dark and gloomy. You know,
Right.
for the most part.
Yeah.
I will say, going back to Joe Pesci, there was there was the whole era of late '90s like Pulp Fiction ripoffs, and there was 8 heads in a duffel
I was
bag.
literally just thinking of that just
Yeah,
now.
God, that movie got trashed.
I love that
Yeah.
movie.
It's silly.
David
It's
Spade,
ridiculous.
98, I think. I want to
But
say.
I mean, when you've got 8 heads in a duffel bag, that's a pretty
Well,
weird way.
I think there's like a dream
bodies.
sequence where the heads are singing Mr. Sandman or something. I was like, I saw that clip and I was like, yeah, that movie's not for me.
It wasn't. It,
There's a movie that I've never seen that was listed, Voltaire, with Penelope Cruz, and apparently they hide, like, her dad was a fucking creepy, touchy dad or whatever. They kill him, they put him in a freezer, hide him at a local closed restaurant, and then they dump him in the river. So anyway, but
What if the dad hides themselves in the chimney in the movie Gremlins?
disposes of himself? Wow.
Would that have been extra points?
unintentional disposal.
Wow.
All right, folks. Govs, you did a heck of a job, and you brought in some weird, crazy caveats and like some wild cards.
I
And
feel like it
was a
felt like it
game.
fit with this one. I didn't know what
Dude,
the hell
like,
was going to happen.
I'm a little nervous because, are we turning him into Jigsaw? Next thing you know, it's going to be like these crazy puzzles, and like he's going to show up one day and we're all in traps. He's like, oh, if you want to score points, you got to get out of the trap.
I'm going to break into Scott's studio and leave little clues in a scavenger hunt. If you want the first pick in the draft, here's what you must do.
It might be getting deeper, but you know what? I love it. I'm looking forward to it. Can't wait for more of it. And Hank, you can step your game up too.
though.
You can step your game up too. All right, folks. Maddie Marlowe, Real Drunks. Do you know your next movie you might be coming up with?
The latest episode we have out right now, we did So I Married an Axe Murderer.
Great movie.
A great movie.
A classic movie that I have not seen.
You have not fucking seen that movie?
Oh, if you have not
Scotch
seen
Beck,
Jesus.
don't you dare.
it is
Don't
on.
you dare.
It is on Max. Check it out. It's a great movie. We had Liza on.
Yes.
You guys had Liza on before.
We did. She was part of our brew day. So
She's
that was great.
hilarious.
She's awesome.
Other than that, we don't have anything picked yet. Jake and I kind of go
Yeah.
week by week.
And there might be some things coming in down the pipe that with the Real Drunks doing some new ideas,
Yep.
some new expansions. So
Yep, for sure.
Looking forward
So-
to it.
Follow
Let me
us,
get
on,
this
follow us on
straight.
Instagram at the Real Drunks. REEL. Movie Real.
Part of the Den Network.
Yep.
You haven't seen Animal House or So I Married an Axe Murderer?
Hey.
Brad, movie
I had an older brother, and I had a father that they liked just real base comedies, and that's what we watched a lot. Somehow they didn't like the fraternity comedies, though. I don't know. It wasn't their thing.
I know your brother better than anyone who's not a Franca, and I've seen Animal House like 20 times. I don't understand. how that's possible.
Do you think, has Andrew Frank seen Animal House?
I think he has to.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
he's
might,
seen
it
that.
might be a
I
question
bet.
for him. Might be a question for him.
We'll find out.
He has to.
Interesting.
Love it.
All right, P-Man, I'm so glad you showed up, man. You've been a long time listener, and how do you feel? How do you think it went? I know you're not happy with your finishing, but what'd you think?
I had a great time. I think I had a couple wackier picks that, as it turns out, would have maybe worked with the Gov. Maybe he has some of the same sensibilities as me. I wish I would have gone with him. Go with your gut. I guess
with
that's
your
what I'm
gut.
going with.
Yep.
Go with your gut.
Yeah.
Had a great time.
You know what? And both of you as guest judges or guest drafters, we're gonna have to bring you back sometime.
Thank you guys, man.
Because
I didn't redeem myself.
I know.
The asterisks.
at-
Asterisks.
Hey,
You're like, let's draft again right now.
right now.
he's the new Walter. He's
I know.
he's holding on to the fourth place. He wants to redeem it.
Oh, I
That's
got
true.
you. That's.
I know a few people, including your podcast partner, who might have some things to say about that.
Okay, first of all, I just gotta say, I may have got lower than Jake, but my picks were so much better than his. He's notoriously famous
Jake-
for having the worst pick.
He's throwing down the gauntlet, Jake. You better have some words for this guy. All right. Thank you, guys. Thanks, Govs. Thanks, Maddie Marlowe. Thank you, P-Man. Scotch, we've got, I think, something coming up. And you know what? We might have to go, either resurrect or try to, unbury. Is that what we do? Unbury?
Unbury.
Unbur. We're going to have to go dig up these guys and figure out if we can reanimate them so we can talk about the movie Karate Kid. That's kind of like on the agenda, and it
Yep.
seems like that's supposed to happen here soon. So maybe we can get either one or both of those guys back
All right.
for the Karate Kid.
I'll see if they're still breathing.
Yeah, we'll check that out.
All right.
All right, so, just check us out on the socials, and, we like some reviews. We've got quite a few reviews, and we have a 4.9. That's kind of sad. I wish it was like a 4.99. Somebody gave us a 1 at some point.
There's always one motherfucker.
I buried that guy. But at the same time, make sure you're giving us those 5 stars. We wouldn't want to have to come find you.
Find us on Facebook. Talk to us. We talk back.
Instagram, Facebook. Hit us up. We will always converse. Tell us that we're shit. Tell us that we're great. Ask questions. Demand that Scotch does some new bumpers for Shag Snag Body Bag on the actual movie pods. All that kind of stuff can happen. We appreciate you. We love you. Scotch, get us out of here.
Bye-bye.